This stuff changes people. I watched my best friend flip out and try to kill me. I've never seen anyone act like that, let alone him. I was so shaken by seeing the change in him I almost didn't realize the danger I was in. But honestly, I don't know what anyone's thinking. To me, that's scarier than any half-rotten ghoul trying to eat my flesh. Thank you everybody for joining us here in the Comics Corner. I am Mike here with Johnny. Johnny the Ghoul. Johnny B. Ghoul.
Johnny B. Ghoul.
And we are here talking about The Walking Dead, 2003, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Tony Moore and Charlie Allard, depending on what issues we're looking at here. But we are looking at issues 1 through 12. We've got the hardcover book number 1, which covers those 12 issues. I mentioned the two artists because we'll get into it more, but the first 6 issues, we'll get into it more. It's done by Tony Moore. The first 6 issues were done by Tony Moore, and then there was a swap at issue 7 to Charlie Allard, and Charlie Allard did basically the entire series after that. He did issues number 7 through 193, and we'll get into that in a little bit later, but for now we'll do the review part of it. Johnny, what'd you think of the first 12 issues of The Walking Dead?
Wait, whose artwork do you like better?
We're gonna get into that for sure.
Almost used it right there.
Exactly, yeah, right at the gate.
Jeez, Lou Malnati.
Also, real quick before we get into it too, shout out to Vic in the chat, #1 in our hearts, #1 in the chat, and we got Dr. TNT coming by again. D&D party when? Man, one of these days. I mean, Doc, we're halfway there. I got dice right here. Just tell me if I start rolling these, what's the DC that I got to beat to dodge an attack from a zombie? You tell me that, and then I'll give you some rolls. But yeah, I am definitely all for. Thank you, Johnny. I am definitely all for getting some D&D content on the site. Honestly, it's just a matter of getting. Yeah, exactly. Did you check out this big bad boy? It's M20, like weird red and I guess gray D20, but yeah, dice gobos, hell yeah. These bad boys go click clack. I guess it's right here. Now that's the new mic. But yeah, dice aside, Johnny, what did you think of Walking Dead?
Dog, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. It gets the Johnny boy 2 thumbs of approval.
Exactly, 10 thumbs out of 10.
The 3 claws of approval.
Exactly. We just gotta like keep those at the ready.
I want like one on a little like stick, and I can hold. When you're like, oh, we need like that, and then we need like something that's like a negative, and then like I have them each on a stick, and we're like, how'd you like the book? I'd be like, or.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because we've already got Vic throwing up the Johnny emote. Like yeah, we need to always just have you at the ready to get the claws out there. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Two thumbs up, 3 claws.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And this is the 3rd time I've read this portion of the series, and I think this was my favorite time reading it. I liked it a lot. I read it and was like, am I going to buy all these hardcovers again? Shaking dice right into the mic.
Exactly. Our D&D ASMR, Charlie. Shout out to Charlie in the chat. I'm sure we'll get a type out to Charlie in the chat, too, in just a moment here when Johnny finishes. But yeah, 10 out of 10. I don't know if I'd be that generous.
It doesn't sound like you'd be generous at all. What would you give it, Mike, out of 10?
Maybe closer to, I know you're a fan of 0.5s. I'd say 7.5 to 8. Like, it's solid, okay. But, so you mentioned at the start here, which art did you like better? Unpopular opinion. I definitely liked Tony Moore's art better.
He was the first artist?
Yes, the first 6 issues.
That's the unpopular opinion?
Yes.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Okay. We'll get into it as we start showing off the issues as we get into it. But
the tones are way better.
Yeah, like that's the thing is, for those who don't know, the first 6 issues were done by Tony Moore, and then
here's an example of something he did.
Exactly, yeah. It's loosely mentioned as more being almost kind of cartoonier, which I could see it, but then if you jump to something a little later, Charlie Allard picked up from issue 7 onward.
This looks a little more like Frank Miller noir.
Yeah, I was gonna say more.
Especially this side.
I was saying it all night. A guy who does Hellboy.
Mike McNeil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like where it's like the very stark, like deep contrast.
Wait, is Hellboy black and white? I've never looked into any of it.
The earlier stuff I think was, but I've seen colored. But point being, like he still does like the very like dark, especially in like the face, like very like stark contrast and deep shadows, which apparently Robert Kirkman, kind of preferred later on as more fitting to the tone that the story was especially going as the issues progress. We'll be frank here. It's people die. Like this series is definitely like
unforgiving.
Known for the fact that we could hear about a character and then like an issue or 2 later they're getting eaten by zombies. It's as it says on the back, it's survival horror.
I gotta say as a disclaimer, when I liked the show at its peak, I still only gave the show like an 8 out of 10 at the best. Yeah. Like I don't think even at its best the show holds a candle to this. Have you seen the show?
Yeah,
I've not asked you. I know. I know. Last time we talked about Walking Dead, I asked you twice in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We definitely didn't talk about this just last night. I said that. Yeah, I had gotten to I forgot what issue number it was. I think it was like maybe in the 70s when they get to like the governor and that kind of story arc. And then I think that was also around when the first season of the series was starting, and I started watching the TV show, and I feel like that kind of, I don't know, took some of the wind out of my sails because I wasn't really liking it as much. I think I saw the first season, and then after that I'm like, I'm not gonna watch the second season when it comes out.
It got to the point where like there was only I said this last night, like the episode ratio, it was like 4 or 5 bad ones and then 1 good one. Now granted, the good ones were like sometimes great. I will say the 2-episode arc where they introduced Negan, the end of season 5, beginning season 6, I think those were the seasons.
Yeah.
those are two of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
I know that the Negan stuff is where a lot of people jump back on because it was kind of losing viewers around then, and then Negan comes on, and
But then even after a while, it kind of.
Exactly.
And I couldn't believe it. I used to watch it religiously, even though I didn't. I just liked being a part of something that was like weekly.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's like having a pull list. It was like, every week me and this group of people who like one thing do this one ritual.
I was gonna say, or every week people join us in the chat here to watch us talk about comics.
It's a ritual. We sacrifice a goat at 7:30 every night.
Exactly.
But we do this.
Yeah, I apologize. We were a little bit late today.
Yeah, the goat. It put up a little more struggle this time.
There's a lot more cleanup this time.
Big guy, but we got it. Don't worry.
But yeah, no, it's so I fell off the TV show and I wasn't that big on it, and then it also just kind of like made me like not lose interest in the comic. Like that makes it sound like it was negative. It was more just kind of like I started like looking elsewhere. So I kind of fell off the comic. So I'm nowhere near like halfway done with the comics because it ended at 193.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's a pretty swift read too.
Yeah.
There's a few extended word bubbles, but like not many, and like it's pretty. You know what? The writing is so in touch with like how actual people talk that it's easy to read. Because even when you read some like modern comic books, it's like really wordy for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, it's very conversational, and the characters are.
Yeah.
There's good characters too. Yeah, like I definitely enjoy that part of it. I think my knocks of it. There was a few situations, and then also like, again. I was looking online, and the unpopular opinion is apparently the popular Pastimes opinion of Tony Moore is the first 6-issue artist. When he got changed, people definitely know it for the later stuff.
Although it's a little more cartoony.
Yeah, he was still doing the covers, I think, through like issue 20 something.
Yeah, I do remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah, like he kept doing the covers for a bit, but he was no longer doing the interior. Apparently, there was some weird, like falling out with Robert Kirkman, even though they were like, basically like childhood friends. People cite that maybe Kirkman got a little bit.
Some of those covers.
Once the series started picking up and the fame was going to his head, people were like, he just kind of gave Tony Moore like a raw deal, and whatever the politics aside, for the reason of dropping him, just
you raw dog Timor.
You hate to see that. The fact that Tony Moore was no longer on it, I don't know. I think. I liked his characters. I think he did faces better. I think he had like better detailing. But Kirkman says that he went with Charlie because it's just better. Like it fit the mood more.
They were teamed up for the whole series after that, right? Up until
from issue 7 to 193 afterward. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's maybe just me, but it comes down to preference. That's why I rated it a little bit lower. But
this stuff's pretty good, dude. This is some more of the Tony Moore
exactly,
stuff.
Yeah. Like it's super detailed. Like there's good mid-range, whereas with Charlie's stuff, it's very much just like, all right, here's white, black, and like a little bit of gray. Like I don't know. It doesn't. It's personal preference, but that's just me.
I will say though, what we talked about yesterday with the colored versions that are coming, the images they showed were definitely only from the first issue.
Yeah, it was the hospital.
And I'm wondering now that I'm thinking about it,
maybe
it'll work better with the not, because it is cartoony and it made it look cartoonier.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm wondering if
But then again, I think just adding colors to Allard's stuff. I don't know if there's as much range to even pull more detail out. I don't know. It's interesting. I guess we'll see how it goes. But
and dude, we've been talking about this for the last like 10 minutes before we went on. The build of this book. This is
regardless of what we say about the book's content, the book itself is really
IDW. If I said this off camera, if Marvel released their stuff in an edition like this, it's a little bit Is it a little oversized? Hold on, we got a comic book right. We're in a comic store. We just look around.
No comics here.
I was gonna say it is a little bit oversized,
but maybe they just kind of center it a little bit more in the middle.
Yeah, actually, I would say it's probably not too oversized.
Yeah,
there's a regular book over it.
That's no regular book.
No, Infinity Gauntlet 6. Available for sale. Oh,
where can I get
check our Instagram. I updated it today. It's so hard. We like doubled our followers. Exactly. Alan, if you're watching, we doubled our followers.
Big ups.
Literally.
Pastimes.net/social. You can hop on. I think it's Instagram. We're at Pastimes Online. I believe that's correct. Yeah.
No. Pastimes Online.
Yeah. We threw up some flash deals, some sales on.
I
there.
didn't throw up.
Claims.
Sales. I didn't listen to the whole sentence.
It's okay. Too busy throwing up.
Also, if people are wondering who Alan is, he's the owner of Pastimes, just so you don't think I'm randomly like talking to a customer named Alan, like, dude, check the Instagram.
My buddy
like,
Alan.
no, he's our boss.
Alan in the chat.
Alan in the chat, dude.
Um,
Jack Kirby, man.
But yeah, definitely keep that's one way to make them show up. Definitely keep an eye out on our Instagram page. We're definitely posting more. It's gonna be some sales stuff, kind of like our Tuesday streams, but also
Stuff we get
more
in-
just fun stuff. Yeah, like
Hell yeah.
I sent Johnny a picture of when I used the
BCW comic
Yeah,
book frame,
exactly,
it looked
yeah.
awesome. It was
Hell
a Green
yeah.
Lantern book. Tell me about that book real quick. I purposely did not ask you about
like
it.
that's the lead up to like the Parallax stuff. That was
What's a parallax?
Parallax.
What's a parallax?
That's issue 50 of Green Lantern, where Hal Jordan kind of like gets all the rings and becomes a different entity. Point being, issue 48, 49 has in my opinion, the best Green Lantern cover, where it's Green Lantern holding all the rings on his fingers. Enamel pin. Yeah, we'll definitely get some enamel pins on there. Fun fact, I'm definitely in talks with getting a custom enamel pin board going. Because I want to have, I told Johnny this.
Good idea.
I definitely want to have a thing where, because each book club book episode that we've done, I've had like a unique pin to that series, and I want to start having, if not behind me, at least at a grabbable distance here, a custom pin board where I could just like start putting up in a line, like again, we're at episode 13, so 13 pins that I'd have on there. God, I've got too many pins at home, so that's why I'm definitely going to be trying to get that set up. This one is Sheriff Grimes badge. I'm definitely not covering up some vital information that might be written at the bottom of this, so please don't ask me to move my finger there.
Oh, wait, did you get that when the book came out?
Yeah, this was at the end. This was like
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
that, when that
the
book came out.
Yeah,
That's
nothing,
awesome.
Nothing to worry about there. It's just
It's a cool. It just says where the badge is from.
exactly. Yeah, it just says
What part of Georgia he's a sheriff?
Says good work, Rick Grimes. But yeah, no, it's a cool pin.
I
all
love
pins
Rick
are cool.
Grimes.
Yeah.
I hope. Never
He's doing
mind.
all right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
so
keep reading his story
so
forever.
that might be something that I put up on Instagram too, just some pics of the progress of the pin board. But yeah, I've got to make up some special images to put on that, so I've got to work on that over the weekend when I get some time.
I forgot about this.
There's zombies in that one.
There are. No, okay, because I've read this 3 times, so I know I've read this twice before. I did not read this time. It was not in the version I read. It didn't have the bonus Morgan thing.
Yes, yeah, there was something right at the end.
The holiday special.
And to be fair,
It doesn't add anything.
Yeah, it doesn't add that much.
No,
it's
but I
just
forgot
a small
it
little
existed.
thing with some characters that they touch on briefly at the start.
This book. I'm gonna buy these books. I can't. How much for that whole set? $275.
Yeah, $275.
You should buy a set.
Yeah, that's
All
a very good
7
price.
of you watching, according to my little thing.
Exactly. Yeah, the eyeball thing.
So, I'm gonna buy one too, because this I was collecting these when they were coming out, and like at the time I couldn't afford them because I was like, when did these come out? I was like that years old, like 22 years old.
2003
So-
was that was when the series started, so probably like 2 years later, year later. The hardcovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they came out in like 05 and stuff, I was a little.
Oh yeah, that's it. You're
No,
right.
I was probably whatever. I don't know why I'm making this so complicated. I was probably like 19 or 20, so like 2 or 3 years ago, and and I was I think I had the first 5 or 6, and I was like, I can't afford this anymore. I need to buy more X-Men comics, and I sold them, and now I'm looking at this like Mike's version, this edition.
Yeah, my special, my hand.
Woo-wee. Dude, just the quality of the pages. You think I'm like you can see it's got a little texture to it.
Yeah, like
No, I'm not like I'm not just being an idiot.
Yeah,
like,
no, like I definitely do. Like we talking about that too because we're weirdos that talk about like the paper stock
Yeah,
and
this stuff
texture
matters to
I mean,
us.
like yeah, like the weird kind of like
Yeah, no,
the
paper
gloss
quality
of
is
their-
really
yeah, it's
good.
awesome, yeah.
It's a little gloss.
I was
Look
just-
at that. You can see the shine when I do it in the light.
Exactly,
Seriously,
yeah.
right there.
boom. That's quality reflecting back.
It's
at
like a
you.
bald guy's head after he waxes it.
Highlighted it?
Oh my god, no wait, I'll bring this. I will bring this and we'll post it in the chat. I met Chris Claremont at Wizard World or C2E2 like 3 years ago, and the picture I have, dude, his head is reflecting the light because he's so he has to wax his head. You're gonna see it and it's like shiny. It's so stupid.
Hell yeah.
like people commented on the picture and were like, "What's up with his shiny head?"
So is he okay?
Yeah, hell yeah, he's okay. He wrote X-Men for
Exactly,
like
yeah,
14
looking,
years.
looking real Xavier-esque. But yeah, so we definitely mostly enjoyed Walking Dead. Again, my gripes are mostly with the art. But yeah, the book itself, if you want to get the editions, because they have the
at this
compendiums.
guy.
The compendiums are soft cover, like
Don't get the
way
compendiums.
too thick. Yeah, there's a lot of binding
No
problems
fat
with that.
chicks.
Exactly, I do. You know who wrote
Hippies
that?
use
You
the
know who drew
backdrop.
that? Tony Moore. You know who didn't draw that? Charlie Allard.
Yeah, TM.
TM.
That stands for Tony Moore, or trademark.
TMI.
Ooh.
All right, Johnny, you ready to get into it?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Where's my girl Christina? She's all about this now.
Yeah.
She's
Wait
like
a minute.
the coolest.
Vic, did you do your homework? Yo-Yo's not here. Yo-Yo's skipping class. Yo-Yo's playing hooky right now.
He better wait. Yo-Yo's a dude, right?
Yeah.
Is he into chicks? He better be off with a chick. Or if he's into dudes, he better be off with a dude.
He said that he's been with his girlfriend.
Then hopefully he's with her. There you go.
So, all right, Vic. I don't think bribing your teachers with money. I mean, although it does work. If you like our content, feel free to subscribe with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/pastimesonline.
Follow us on Instagram at Pastimes Online.
You could see you get sweet emojis when you subscribe, but then also we'll post up information about when your homework is due, and it looks like nobody did their homework except the two teachers. So I guess we're gonna be talking to ourselves about zombies and
Why would we talk to ourselves when we can talk to each other?
Johnny, what if zombies weren't the real problem? What if it was humans?
Oh, I thought it was obesity. I thought that's what the no fat chicks was. Isn't that the leading cause of death here in America?
In America, yes.
That's not the purpose of this book.
Have you ever heard Johnny? Have you ever heard the phrase "man is man's wolf"?
No, I haven't.
All right, that's this
Like, you
book
can't
right
just spout phrases that you make up on the spot at me and ask if I heard them before. Okay? Hey, if a tree falls in the forest, does anyone hear it?
It's a
Think
good
about
point. If a zombie freezes in a forest, does anybody kill it? The answer is yes. We'll get to that a little later.
That was a good one.
But right out the gate here, issue 1, Johnny, we see a young Rick Grimes and his partner Shane, and they are in a gun standoff here with some crazed guy. Doesn't want to go back to.
I ain't gonna die out. I'm gonna back out down first. That guy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, him.
To be fair, we don't know that he's Southern, but go on.
Look, yes, you do. They're in Kentucky, and look at him.
Continue
Just look at
stereotyping.
him.
Where does it
Look
say,
at his
where does
face.
Where does it say Kentucky?
Look at his lack of teeth. They talk about how they're in Kentucky. What are you talking about, dude?
Not at the start here. We don't know this. We're
But
just going
I've
into
read
it.
Beyond. I'm from the future. You saw me sneeze.
Mm-hmm. I did. And during this standoff, this Kentucky guy, if that's to be believed, takes a shot at Rick. Rick gets hit in the side, and immediately wakes up in a hospital.
It's a mystery.
Thank you for typing it out. Yeah, they don't actually get into it in the first 12 issues. I know they tackle a little bit later, or kind of more information about it, but that's not information that we really learn this early on. And much like Rick Grimes in the hospital, we're just kind of thrown into this world. He wakes up from a coma and is kind of left to wander around the hospital. He goes around, he doesn't see anybody at all. Nurse's station is empty, no patients in their rooms, until he gets to the cafeteria, and he finds 2 locked doors. It doesn't have the text on this. I honestly forgot that was only something for the TV show.
Yeah.
But I was always a fan of that. But
It's
yeah,
funny, though.
he opens up the doors, and inside he sees a whole host of Zambos.
That's some pretty good artwork. Man.
Yeah, that is some
dig
good
that.
artwork. Look at the detailing on those zombies. Look at the emotion in Rick's face when he first opens up that door and sputters out.
Looks like me before I sneeze.
Exactly, yeah.
He's about to go back in time, Rick Grimes is.
Exactly, yeah. Vic, hop on the Zamboni because we're going for a ride. Yeah, he barely escapes. The zombie kind of like knocks into him in the stairwell, tumbles down the stairs. Zombie breaks his neck. There's like pull up when the zombie breaks his neck and there's like grubs flying everywhere. Like that's some good art. That's some good detailing. That's really morbid and I don't know. Again, maybe it's just because the fact that I come from a lot of like horror comics, like classic like pre-code, where it's like seeing stuff like that was really cool, and like the detailing that when we get into it a little bit later, we don't really get as much with old Chuck Allard. But again, maybe that's me. But Rick finds his way out of the hospital and is kind of traveling along the road, this very empty road, cars kind of strewn about, bodies laying around, and he comes across a bicycle laying along the side of the road. And he goes over to the bicycle, but something catches his eye that's kind of gruesome.
Yeah, it's not that gruesome.
Well, it's definitely just kind of one of the more iconic.
Looks like the head's on fire.
It's definitely one of the more iconic scenes in that. Yeah, exactly. Vic says, love that panel. In the TV show, the bicycle girl, I think that's what they dubbed that zombie. That was some really good prosthetic work and
first
practical
season,
effects.
the first 6 episodes, because it's a 6-episode season, are awesome. Because it's kind of it could, if it didn't get picked up after that, you'd be all right, that was a cool cliffhanger ending to a 6-issue or 6-episode show. But for better or for worse, it went on. Hey, you know who my favorite character in this comic book is?
Is it Rick?
It's
I hope
Dale.
it's Rick.
I mean, not. I messed up the joke. God damn it. No, wait. Yeah, I messed up the joke. I was gonna say Daryl, but I said Dale. Dale's actually a character in the book.
Yeah.
God
bless it. Maybe next stream.
Yeah, can we start over again? On this week's episode.
Rick just kind of breaks down and cries right there because that's his first exposure to at least that close up. I think the zombies and just the kind of almost.
I don't know. He was almost making out with this one right here.
Yeah, but
without the head.
This way he sees the weird, almost pitiful, but I don't know, grotesque nature of them. Yeah, thank you, Charlie.
I just thought it was more he can't he it's a soul suck in purgatory.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. We come across that a little bit later with the zombie trapped in the
what
snow.
Swear?
But he said, "God dang it."
That doesn't count.
Gosh darn it.
That doesn't count. We need a chart, and it's got to be in order for it to use up the swear, it's got to be one of the top 2. It's got to be the S word or the F word.
Yeah. If George Carlin can't say it, we can't say it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Bitch, bastard, ass, damn it, goddamn it, crap are all on the table all the time. Okay? Bastard is an actual term. So that's not really even a swear word. But the other 2, those take up.
It's real, you can say it.
Yeah.
And also, to be fair, Walking Dead, a mature book. There's a lot of gore and a lot of swears too. This.
Yeah. There's one. Every time I've read this and I get to this line, I'm like, oh yeah, he says that. What Alan says to Andrea when she tries approaching him after that thing happens.
Oh yeah.
And remember what I'm talking about? It's pretty offensive. We'll get there, but yeah.
Happen,
every time I've read it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Whoops.
But yeah, cut to it. We got Rick Grimes. He takes the bike and kind of makes his way to a suburban area. Presumably his house. He starts going in there. We see a picture of him and his family. It's pretty offensive. We'll get there.
Yeah, no, actually, when we do, I'm going to use my Johnny Secrets when we get to that part, and I need a pen and this paper, because I'm going to show you guys something amazing that has to do with that word. You know what I'm talking about, too. It's actually, it would be...
I'm looking forward to it.
That would also be on that list of 2 words you can't say. So maybe there's 3, but this one might even be above those, right?
Sure, yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't even use it. Yeah, unless we're reading it out of this book.
There, yeah.
Then I can use it.
Exactly. I'm just directly quoting here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he starts going into his house. We see a portrait of him and his family in the background. He gets to the back porch, kind of wanders around, and clang, in the back of the head.
Good old shovel to the head.
That'll do you in.
Little Nicky. Boom.
And Rick finds out the hard way that there's still people alive out there, but most people tend to assume that anybody else walking around is a zombie.
Yeah, this is where we're introduced to Morgan, who actually in the show is a real badass character. You know what I can't remember? I don't know if this is spoilers or not for the book, but in the show, Morgan comes back eventually, and I don't know if he does in the book, and I hope he does.
I think he does later on. He doesn't in this, and that's
he doesn't in this.
Yeah,
yeah.
The last issue is kind of is Robert Kirkman talking about the fact that he kind of
they
like
wouldn't
the characters.
Tease him if he doesn't come
exactly,
back.
Yeah, he even mentions that
later.
it'd be maybe they'll come back. But yeah, Morgan and his son are basically kind of squatting in this house in this neighborhood. They had to escape, when all this kind of broke out. But they moved to a different neighborhood because things were going bad by him, and they were just kind of squatting in these houses. Morgan's taking care of his son, but things are getting kind of sparse. They're running out of food and supplies. So Rick offers up. He's still got his key. He may be a man out of time, but he still has some uses, and he offers up to take them, quote unquote, shopping. And he takes them over to the police station because, again, Rick being a sheriff's officer, even though he came out of the coma, he remembers his way around. So he decides that the best way to get stocked up, if they need cars, guns, is to go to the sheriff's office. But he's still not sure, how long he's been out or where everybody is or any of that information. But he's trying to find a clearer picture.
Well, at this point, he's still under the assumption that things are gonna go back to normal because he's like, we're just borrowing it. Like,
exactly.
we don't do too much. We can't get in trouble.
Yeah,
look at the circumstances.
How often he talks about that? He's like, when things get better, just be sure to return that, all these guns and all these, the police car that I've lent to you.
First introduction to Sheriff Rick down here.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a
good
good
classic.
Rick
Grimes
hat. Exactly. Yeah. I don't like that his kid takes the hat. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I don't like his kid.
I was gonna say that's one of the reasons
that was the same in the show and in the book.
Exactly.
They nailed that part.
Yeah, that kid's.
Hey, you're an annoying brat.
Exactly. I can't.
We need to get an annoying brat to play you. Chandler Riggs, you're an annoying brat. Come on.
Johnny, he's a kid.
Not anymore. He ain't. Now he can take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're old enough to take my verbal abuse, Chandler. You're also rich enough. Never enjoyable in media. Hot take. Let me think about that. I do hate, actually, in Dragon Ball, I absolutely hate when Goten and Trunks are introduced now that I'm an adult. They're so stupid. Trunks is only cool when he's an older teenager. Kid Goku's okay. No, Kid Goku's great. So that's... Stewie's good? Wait, Bart and Lisa? What are you talking about? There's a lot of good children in media. But not this one.
There's a lot of good children.
Screw you, Chandler Riggs. Yeah, new media. Chandler. Doesn't he have his own group now, like a band? Like he can't make it on TV, so he's in a band because he's got hair that does this. So do I. I wasn't Chandler Riggs.
But yeah, so they basically raid the sheriff's office, and again, I do like the fact that Rick is very hopeful at this point of he just says hey, just be sure to return the guns when all is said and done, bring the car back, because he offers up them a police car, and he's going to take the other one because he's got to go to Atlanta. He believes that his family had in-laws out in Atlanta. It's a bigger city, so when whatever happened, they probably would have gone there for safety and also for more family reasons. So he feels that that's kind of his only lead right now is to try and head to Atlanta and see what he can make of it.
Dude, this is badass artwork. I like this a lot.
Yeah,
these tones.
Boy, that would be a real shame if the artwork kind of quickly changed after issue 6. But yeah, I like the scene where he just kind of drives back to Bicycle Lady.
Yeah.
Now that he's got a car and some guns, and kind of teary-eyed puts her down Old Yeller style because Rick at this point he's still got feelings, he's still got emotions. Like seeing somebody like you said, just kind of like this lost soul, kind of stuck, just groaning out in the field, like nothing going on. Like he feels that the only thing that he can do at that point is to just put her down. Welcome to Georgia.
Oh my God, wait, you know what I was just about to say? I can't even believe this. I just had an epiphany. I was about to crack a joke and say, man, they spend this whole time in Georgia and don't say anything about peaches, and there's totally a whole conversation about peaches.
They do talk about peaches.
There's a whole conversation.
Canned peaches.
Canned peaches. And now I'm like, that's probably why they...
I definitely didn't put those two in.
Right, neither did I.
Yeah, that's
live.
But also, real quick there,
Real quick.
that was the end of issue 1. We jumped to issue 2. One of the things, maybe it's just a petty thing on my end, but I do like in trade paperbacks and hardcovers when they show either the cover of the next issue or they kind of acknowledge that there's an issue break. In the hardcover, they don't really show that there's an issue break, that issue number 2 starts. They just kind of jump into it, which honestly, part of it I think is maybe the sign of how good the story is, that it just continuously flows without like really knowing that one issue's ended, another one has started again. But that was just kind of, as I was taking notes last night, like I usually break up my notes by issue, and I didn't really know where the issue ended or started. So
when we were talking today, what I figured out as I was like paging through it was that the breaks it does have,
they have
where the
chapter breaks, which are 6 issues in. So there's a chapter break 6 issues in, and that's also the art change break.
Well, that's the trade paperbacks.
Yeah,
for 6
exactly.
issues. So if you were to collect this in trades instead, you would need twice as many, because there's half the amount. So you need 32 trades. That's still not bad for a whole series, actually.
Yeah, because they break out, they do their stories in 6 issue chunks, like they just call it, like, you know, like they have a chapter break at that point. But yeah, this is just an issue break. And yeah, we see Rick Grimes, man, if only it was Frank Grimes, driving on over to Georgia. His car runs out of gas, and he's left to hoof it. He
doesn't hoof it.
Not yet. He starts hoofing it himself, but then he finds other means. But he pulls along to a
horse,
a farmhouse
with hooves.
But wait, before that, what's going on in that farmhouse? I hope the family that was in there is okay, and they don't mind him taking his horse.
How could they mind when they're dead?
Yeah, that was, I don't know. I think maybe it's just something small and subtle, but like the whole, like, you know, like we see that it's a religious family. They're all clutching their Bibles. You know, they each have like a bullet in their head. It's like a family, kids, and a dad, and like, you know, the dad's holding the gun. I think it's just a small like story that they're telling in like one panel that's kind of interesting. Of, you know, like the father, you know, basically like, you know, wishing them well, you know, reading their Bibles, and then, you know, having to kill themselves because they see the end is here. Again, maybe that's me being weird, but I thought that like just that one scene, that one like cell that they have there is a lot going on. I don't know. But yeah, Frank hops. I'm gonna keep saying Frank Grimes. Rick Grimes hops on the horse, grabs an axe, and starts, you know, going on over to Atlanta, so in hopes of finding his family. But instead of finding his family, he instead finds city streets filled to the brim with zombies.
Yeah, they recreate this shot in the show.
Yeah, that's
sure.
like the iconic like
him doing that
poster for.
Did you see when quarantine started? Somebody took a picture of it because it was completely empty, just like in the poster. It was kind of eerie. It was cool.
And now it's back to normal.
Hey, look. It's the word, but it doesn't have the K at the end, so I think you could say it and it doesn't count as your swear. Right?
I mean, maybe they're writing out fuchsia. We don't know. That's not right. That's not how that's spelled.
You got a marker? Let me fix this.
Yeah. Let me
Tony, you're a good artist, but you're a terrible speller.
Exactly. But yeah, so Rick becomes quickly overrun with zombies. You know, he's trying to take them out. He's shooting them. He's got his axe to kind of take them out.
He's dropping his swear words.
But they're certainly overwhelming him because, you know, again, he's in the middle of a crowded street. You know, the gunshots definitely attract a lot more to him. And out from an alleyway comes a hat-wearing gentleman to help him out of there. And he shows him into the alleyway. They go up the side of the roof on top, and they have to jump across because, as this guy says, you know,
Spider-Man style.
Exactly. That if they stick around in this, you know, building, they're just going to keep waiting at the bottom for him. So we can't just like go down the building, and then inside the building there's going to be a billion more zombies. So the only option is to jump.
Wait, I loved this line so much when they're running away here. Like right after they get off the building we just jump to, it's like down here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're gonna have to keep your eyes open, man. Where have you been for the past month? Coma. Seriously? I just thought that was funny because it's like, that's like the only plausible answer a person could give you in this scenario, and he has that answer.
You've been living under a rock? Yeah.
Actually, technically, yes. Yeah. I haven't had my own thought in the last month.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry. My condolences. But yeah, and they kind of make it out of there. And he finds out, you know, that this is Glenn, and that he is part of a small group of survivors that are outside on the outskirts of Atlanta because the army was supposed to come on in and basically save them and protect them, but the army got apparently at some point overrun inside there. They were no longer able to protect it, and the only option left was to kind of block off and get out of the city, and now they kind of live on the outskirts.
Yeah, and we get introduced to the whole cast We got a lot of people here. So there's Lori, his cheating whore wife. There's his annoying brat son.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, you know what? Then you shouldn't be a cheating whore wife, and we're gonna find out about that. There's Rick Grimes, our hero, our valiant hero, riding in on his horse.
He's done nothing wrong.
He's basically an angel with a 6-shooter.
Hell yeah.
Is that Shane in the background there? No, that's Alan. Alan's he's interesting.
Alan.
We
Shane
find
is
out
in the background there, but we
really
kind of see
well, there's Jim eating his beans. Hi, my name's Jim and I eat beans.
Jim
That's one of his
good.
famous lines from the book. That's not in the book. There's the twins and a Billy and Ben.
Yeah, I think
it's Billy and Ben, and then there's Sophia. There's stupid annoying Carl again. Yep. There's Shane, or as we know him, the Punisher here in the real world, John Barenthal, who played both.
AKA Homewrecker, but go on.
Real quick, he was really good as Shane in that. He actually, no, I'm serious.
Yeah,
he was a good actor in
Definitely,
there.
Yeah, like the casting in it was pretty solid.
Except for stupid Daryl. Speaking of Daryl, here's Dale. Here's the guy that I messed up that joke on.
Yeah.
He's got a gun. He's kind of cool. Because at this point, only 2 people got guns, him and Shane. And then here comes Rick with his 6-shooter.
He's got big.
Not on a horse anymore.
I think he's got big 6-shooter energy.
Yeah, that's what he's got. And this is Andrea and Amy. They're sisters. And then I can't think of her. Is Donna? That's her name.
Yes,
Donna. That's Alan's wife and the twins, Ben and Billy's mom. She's a little annoying. Yeah. But hopefully that gets taken care of.
Yeah, I was gonna say surely nothing.
There's Jim again, still eating his beans.
And is it me or is Jim the best character? Prove me wrong.
It's easily the best character.
Right, in this first cast of the Survivor camp, best character is Jim. Do you agree? You don't have to agree, but I agree.
And Glenn, I don't even know if we said that. Glenn's the kid who saved Rick.
Yep.
And that should be the whole. Oh no, we didn't see Carol, who's Sophia's mom. I didn't see her.
Yeah. That's the thing is we get introduced to a lot of characters.
But don't worry, you don't have to remember too many of them for too long.
I'm bad with names, but fortunately I didn't have to remember too many.
But you know what I had to do when I read it the first time? It was easier this time, because I think I maybe had to do it the second time too, is I had to do a lot of going back and forth in the pages to be like, wait, who was that? They're just dead. They're dead, especially when they get to the farm later.
Exactly.
That was a little confusing.
And in the actual issues, I think they did it in the trade too, but in the issues, they basically had a gallery at the end of here's a picture of you of their a headshot and then their name to basically for this.
I do remember that.
For this occasion of
Is that in this book?
No, unfortunately
not. It's not in here? I do remember seeing those.
Yeah, they would do that to help kind of keep track of all the characters that are in the story at that point.
And then it would take them off if they died.
I was gonna say because hey man, we meet new characters, but one in, one out basically.
I remember I saw those. Yeah, I've seen those before. But yeah, that's the crew. That's the casting crew. That's the gang. They're gonna be around for a while. We're gonna get to know them, their backstories. We're gonna get to love them, see how they develop as characters, how they grow.
Yeah.
See them grow physically,
emotionally, spiritually.
Every way you can grow.
I hope they're all okay. I hope nothing bad happens to any one of them.
Yeah.
I hope it's just a 2-issue miniseries.
Fortunately, everything I just said was completely opposite of what really happens. But that's what, all joking aside, that is what I've always argued with people I love about this book, is the consequence of death, because how much weight that puts on everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because in other books, in Marvel, you're going to die so someone can figure out a way to write you back into the story somehow. Yeah. Not in this, and I love that. Oh, you seem like you're going to play an important role. Doesn't matter.
Exactly,
you are no safer than anybody else. It's really good in that way.
Yeah, that it does take the death seriously, and the fact that it could happen at any moment is one of the big draws of this series. But yeah, so we get to meet the whole camp. We get cut up everybody. Lori kind of explains their circumstances in Atlanta when they first went there for the in-laws, and then that the city got overrun. The military kind of came in, and then they got overrun. But they kind of made it to safety with this group of survivors, and that was also because they had Shane there, Rick's fellow state trooper, sheriff, buddy who helped take care of the family of Carl and Lori.
Yeah, he took care of them, all right.
What do you mean by that, Johnny? What is Dale's?
I don't know. I would really hate to have visuals to help paint the picture of what I'm thinking.
I hope we don't come across that a little bit
No,
later.
hopefully it's not in the content of this happy-go-lucky book in which
7.
everybody grows and survives.
Nobody,
okay?
don't read issue 7 then.
A continuing story of survival horror. The key word is survival. I'm like, yes, these characters.
Keyword is no longer continuing because it finished.
Did you know the last one says, and here where it says begins here, the last one says ends here?
That's
I
good.
like that.
But was it Darren, the older man with
Dale.
Dale.
Darren.
Dale talks to
Darren.
Darren.
It's Darren.
Big D talks to Rick and talks about how Shane arrived with the family. Seems like a good man, takes care of them, but he says I wouldn't trust him around my wife. To which Rick rolls his eyes, says, "Crazy old man."
Well, you know what? We find out that your wife died in your watch, so I wouldn't trust you with your own wife neither.
That's true. Yeah, Big D lost his wife died back in Atlanta, I think it was. But yeah, we get to see some kind of life around the camp. Like ladies are off, cleaning close to the river, while the guys are off with, now that they've got new guns, they're heading to the forest to try and bring back some food, because their only means of survival otherwise was Glenn going to the city and kind of running around city tops, scavenging what he can and bringing back mostly canned food.
Peaches.
Peaches and other canned products. So they go into the woods in looks of trying to hunt down any kind of food. They do come across a deer, though, although it seems to be a little bit preoccupied.
Not just a deer.
Uh-huh.
But a deer getting eaten by a zombie.
That's worse.
Walker, sorry, don't want to get sued.
Exactly, yeah.
Roamer, as they call it in the book.
They do.
Although they do say zombies in the book, so
yeah,
I respect
which,
that.
I mean, that's
I think they say
that's
zombies once or twice in the
a
show.
generic enough term.
Zombie?
Yeah, although Marvel, I think, owned like the license to zombie at some point, hence like Marvel Zombies.
No! You can't own the word zombie.
There's something like that. I'll definitely have to look into it more, but there was something similar to that where they tried to
Dial Z for zombie, maybe the best Simpsons Halloween special episode. Short.
But yeah, the families are trying to get ready. The ladies were off cleaning clothes back to camp, and on their way back, Donna gets kind of grabbed by a walker. Who is it that's on the rooftop that's always like their lookout? Alan.
Darren.
Darren's got the rifle, and he's kind of overlooking that. He sees it happen.
Sorry, his name's Daryl.
Never gonna get it right. She's attacked, and she barely makes it out alive. And it's kind of our first brush with zombie death almost, because she's attacked. We think that's something bad's gonna happen to her, but she's saved at the last moment.
Good old Alan. Crack shot Alan, always protecting
Always, yeah.
ladies, especially the ones he loves, like his wife. He's gonna protect her forever. Hopefully better than Dale.
What do you have against him, man?
Huh? We'll find out. We'll find out what I have against him. What I have against all these men. They don't know how to protect their women.
They try to, though.
Do
for
they?
the most part.
Well, as Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. Okay, so you didn't. I like this shot here of Rick hatcheting that Walker Roamer zombie.
I like this scene. I thought was kind of neat too, because I like how they actually like mull over the idea of like, is that deer safe to eat?
Yeah.
that they would actually be having that conversation of like, well, it's still a deer, should we eat it? But obviously they don't know a whole lot about what's going on with this infection, but they're like, well, we know that when somebody gets bitten that it can't be good, so surely whatever that zombie's mouth is touching, probably not where we should also be eating too. But yeah, there's the first close call at the camp. Lori is shook up by this. Rick comes back to kind of save them, and says, hey, everything's gonna be okay now, hun. But we get a shot here of Shane.
Yeah, what the hell are you looking at? That's some other dude's wife, dude. What the hell are you looking at her
That's
like that?
my wife, Shane. There's a lot of
Can you
good,
imagine I was looking at your wife like that?
There's so many good shots like that. Again, it's very.
May I ask you something, Rick? You protect your family? Huh? Yeah, exactly. Oh, Shane. Oh, you innocent angel mother...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Shane fan.
That's
if you
my
haven't
wife,
been able
Shane.
to tell.
But yeah, then next issue, it's nightfall. We get kind of more information.
Actually, I really like those nighttime shots. Dead serious.
Yeah,
man.
some good coloring. Some
Hell
good
yeah.
grayscale there. And we get
Grayskull?
Grayskull, Castle Grayskull in this next shot. But we get Rick first kind of floating the idea by Shane, who Shane is kind of like the leader, seen as the leader of this camp. Because again, he's like
I got the gun.
kind of the youngest, or the strongest too, and he's got a gun, and he's a
Best
cop, so
looking.
he's an authority
He's got the
figure,
best job.
most rugged, exactly.
Yeah, super handsome.
Exactly.
Probably is a loyal friend and doesn't betray
Of
people
course,
and,
yeah, exactly.
and
So naturally,
ruin things.
you'd make him the leader.
Seems like a good leader.
But now that Rick is here, he's floating the idea back that, hey, after this attack, and it's getting colder here, and we're too close to where all the zombies are, maybe we should move camp.
Is Jim eating more beans, dude? Every scene, dude! We're out of food, everyone except Jim! He's like, I got beans for days.
Don't
See,
talk much about Jim.
he probably eats fried beans, dude. He's like, you dumbasses, wasting your time
Why
refrying
fry them? Yeah, exactly.
Why refry them when you could just fry them?
But yeah, they talk about wanting to move the camp, but Shane says, nah, man, the army is going to come by the city to save it again soon. So we
say that. He says, are you crazy? What happens when the government starts cleaning this mess up? He thinks that's gonna happen.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, young naive Shane.
No, he wasn't in Atlanta like we were.
Exactly, yeah. We saw what happened.
Yeah, a horse got eaten by zombies. I hope someone came into the chat right there, and the first thing they heard was a horse got eaten by zombies.
If that doesn't want to have you read the rest of Walking Dead, then I don't know what will. But yeah, so they float that idea by, but instead they realize we've got to head back into the city for more supplies, preferably some guns. So yeah, that's when they speak to Jim, because Jim seems to know his way around. He's got a dark, mysterious past, but he knows where the closest gun stores are. So
Jim definitely was an electrician tradesman. Now that I'm looking at him,
what makes you say that?
the flannel.
Fair enough. So if you've got flannel, you probably know your way around.
No, but it's not just the flannel; it's the mesh hat with the flannel.
Okay, so he's either a trucker or an electrician by trade.
No, he's a tradesman.
But yeah, so Glenn and Rick are going to go into the city to try and scavenge some guns from a gun store. They're a little skeptical because they saw how overrun the city was, and especially Glenn mentions that they'd be going deeper into the city than he normally is. So he's like, it's going to be even
south.
It's going to get even hairier down there. So they decide what better way to blend in with the zombies than to, I don't know, find a dead zombie, cut off its hand, rub the weird like pus and blood across your face and body, and stick bits inside your pockets. Not in the face. Not in the face.
I don't think I'll be rubbing this shit.
Not the face.
I was reading that doesn't count. That does not count. That was not my swear word. It was Frank Grimes. Sorry.
Frank Grimes.
Daryl.
Derek.
I don't think I'll be rubbing this shit on my face anytime soon. So, it wasn't really their idea, it was Rick's. He didn't even tell Glenn, which I think is pretty bogus, because when they get there, he tells Glenn to start rubbing zombie guts on him, and Glenn literally pukes his brains out.
Not once, but twice.
Twice. 2 times. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Frank.
Good job, Rick. I hope this plan doesn't come to bite us in the end here.
Yeah, I hope nothing rains on your parade. Let's keep reading.
So they get into the city and they test it out with a zombie that's just kind of leaning up against a wall. He looks at them, but he doesn't really react in any kind of aggressive ways.
Yeah, you know what they're testing because they think that the zombies use smell. So you know what their first test is?
Yeah, wave at them.
A freaking zombie without a nose. Yeah, right there, no nose.
That just means there's more air to get in there.
Oh, better airflow?
Into the olfactory sensors, yeah. But yeah, so they start making their way into the city. We get to see a cool shot of the tank that's kind of overrun with zombies. Showing that the folly of the military and the police trying to take back the city.
Shameless plug.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we start getting those for free because we only got one can left.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I left that last one in there for you, Johnny. I chose to take the LaCroix instead.
LaCroix's good too, dude, but it's not the Buble.
Exactly, man.
Also, damn, more badass artwork.
Exactly, yeah.
Dude,
that's just another good shot.
Yeah, those cannons.
Cannons?
It was cannon. I guess it's just a cannon. Look at that cannon.
Look at that tank.
Look at that tank.
So they bust into the gun shop. They load up on weapons and ammo. They're making their way back out, but it begins to rain.
Are they afraid?
Literally and metaphorically rains on their parade. Rick starts to get anxious because he knows that they're starting to look at him now because it's washing away the scent, and they have to start running out of there, shooting their way out, guns blazing, axes swinging. Rick gets bitten in the shoulder, but he doesn't get to address it until they get out of there. Chomp.
Pretty scary.
That is. Is this the end for Rick? Issue 3, and that's it?
Maybe.
Is he gone? But no, they get out of there. He gets to check his shoulder. Fortunately,
dude, this artwork is
no bites. Yeah, exactly, man.
No bites.
I hope nothing changes in the next few issues. And we get to see Lori and Shane.
What are they talking about here?
Lori's worried about Rick because he's out there somewhere in the rain. Shane's just like, come on back in now. And she's like, well, no, I've got to...
What's he doing? He's grabbing her hand. Look at this. This is suspectful.
Suspectful. It's suspenseful and suspectful. To which Lori...
Come on, staying out here isn't going to make him come back any sooner. You don't know that, Shane. I'll keep you company. That's... Okay, wait. Okay, that's...
Why would you say that?
Wouldn't you say come back inside if you actually cared? Why are you touching her? Shane, don't. You've got to stop. Rick is back now, and he's alive, and he's my husband. You've got to stop this. Why would you even need to say that, Lori? You've been loyal this whole time.
But what about that night when we... Wait. On the road down here... I'm reading the next page, Johnny.
I know, I just turned. I was like, I didn't...
I was playing the part. But what about that night when we... On the road down here...
That night? That night was a mistake!
To which I mournfully look down and... The rain falls upon my hat.
Wait, what night? What night was a mistake?
I wish we find out. Not next week.
I hope there's no panels to show us what mistake she made with this strange man who's not her husband.
You're gonna have to wait 2 issues.
Sounds like you got a whole lot more issues than 2.
Exactly. But in this next
issue...
one. In this next issue...
Is this the next issue?
No, it's the next issue, though. That is. We see...
The Dark Knight Rises. Holy crap! Wait!
That's Charlie. Sorry, that's Charlie.
Yes! And I was about to be like, who the hell is that?
Dark Knight Rises was a mistake. I don't know what that's in reference to.
He's right. Charlie in the chat on his Camaro.
Yeah, apparently Facebook was having problems. I don't know. I'm not sure what would have caused that. Sorry that it caused problems. But yes, you found your way into the Twitch here to join us. Oh, what night was a mistake? Yeah.
Oh! Man, dude.
Blasting them.
That burned more than the metaphorical plane crashing that was The Dark Knight Rises.
Survivors.
And that burned hard.
But yeah, we find out back at the camp here, speaking of sniped,
John, I know, I was just going to say, actually.
Good transition. Now that they've brought back guns to the camp, Rick has the idea of he wants to make sure that everybody's equipped at all times. After Donna got attacked coming back in from the woods, he believes that all basically able-bodied and old enough people should be able to carry their weapons on them and kind of teach them how to use their guns. So they're having target practice out in the forest here. Everybody's doing all right.
Except for Andrew, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's like the crack
kicking cans.
Kicking cans, metaphorically and literally. And then a point of contention here with Lori. Rick wants to teach Carl how to...
You got some nads on you, lady. Yeah. You're talking about nights? You're talking about these nights that you had with Shane that we know nothing about yet because there's no panels to prove it? You're talking about these nights and then you have the audacity to give your husband a look like this because he armed your unarmed son in an apocalypse. And you have the audacity
Show me the receipts, Johnny. I want to see these panels. Show me these panels.
Oh, we're going to come to them,
never happen unless if I see any panels.
Oh, yeah, well... Man, it gets raunchy. Wait, okay, but also that is such a well-drawn face.
Yeah, look at how emotive. Can you pull that panel up again? Look at how emotive both their two faces are. Man, I wish the art would stay this way forever. Yeah, just his ... her like staring daggers at him because
and him being like, what?
Exactly.
That's what ... means.
Mm-hmm. So they teach little Carl how to use a gun with the caveat of Rick says if at any point Carl takes out his gun, even to like to play with or pretend that he's going to take his gun out in any situation that isn't an absolute emergency, he's going to take the gun back. So he wants his kid to be armed and hopefully able to defend himself or to be able to help others, but he doesn't want him to be able to teach it like a toy, or use it like a toy. So they start heading back to camp because obviously they can't be shooting up in camp because zombies are attracted to the noise and they don't want to draw them straight to the camp. So they kind of head their way back.
And look, good old Derek here is getting into his.
Daryl?
Good old Daryl's getting into his trailer with these two sisters. And nosy old Donna over here. Look at the three of them carrying on in front of God and everyone. It's unchristian. And Lori with the sick Christian burn.
Being judgmental.
So it's being judgmental, if I remember. Even Carol. Good one. Man, you know what's really disappointing? In the show, Carol in the show is maybe my favorite female character in all of media. Do you know that? That's how badass she is. And she is not a badass in this comic book. Her and the bride from Kill Bill are like my two favorite female characters.
Okay.
So it's super disappointing that they mess up. Well, I guess this was the original Carol.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. She's like my favorite. It's not even funny. But in this book,
Carol's kind of not enough.
Man, where's Christina? I got stuff to say to her specifically.
I don't
Is
know
she
what
at
that
work?
means. Possibly.
Well, she needs to quit that job or something.
I don't keep tabs on our chatters here. They have lives.
Yeah. And at 8 o'clock every Tuesday and Wednesday,
Exactly.
and the life should revolve around this street.
Sure, I was yelling, "Where's Yo-Yo?" too, so I guess you're welcome to yell at where's Christina.
Yeah, he didn't even tell you where he'd be. Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Vic. That means a lot to me. I wasn't planning on leaving you neither, so we're on the same page. Page 176 of The Walking. No, there's no page numbers.
I was gonna say that's my other not gripe, but I mean sometimes I like to know how many pages I got to read for homework.
Actually, yeah, that is a little annoying. Because what if you lose your place?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm at the part where the zombies are attacking. I'll remember that. And the art doesn't look as good as the first part.
It's a good book. So
later on in night, it's nighttime and we got a campfire and we kind of get to learn a little bit more about. His name is Dale. We get to learn a little bit more about.
I've known that the whole time. Did you really think it was Daryl?
We get to know a little bit more about the characters of the survivor camp here, and kind of how they met, how they got into the situation. Touching character moments to find out more about them, especially the.
Oh wait, Jim was not an electrician; he was a mechanic. He says it himself.
That's the one line he says this entire issue.
But we all know that was a cover-up for his electrician's job. He didn't want them to know that he was union rich.
Mechanics deal with electricity to some degree, so it's basically the same job, right?
Yeah, he could build a house if he needed to.
Yeah, it's all mechanisms.
Look at how good this deer leg looks. I've never had venison, but it looks delectable. Drawn by Tony Moore.
Exactly. Yeah. Tony Moore makes a good looking.
Tony Moore, you're a fantastic cook.
But yeah, we get to learn more about our survivors here. To kind of help you get attached to them, surely I hope nothing bad will happen to any of these characters.
Look at this. What's with? Now here's another. Look, what's with the bitch face though from Donna? Because Andrew has to go take a fucking leak. Are you kidding me?
Freaking leaking. But yeah.
Wait, did I say? Freaking?
Yeah, we'll say that. But the thing is, because she was being judgmental about them because, she thinks that her and her sister are kind of sleeping around with Dale.
Okay, that's gross for a few reasons. A, that's your sister, so that can cause problems. B, that dude's way older than you, so I don't think they would put anything like that into a book like this.
To be fair, though, he's talked about it. He's mentioned in an outing that he's older. His plumbing doesn't really work. It's a purely platonic relationship.
Well, good things Jim's a mechanic. He can fix his plumbing.
Yeah, he fix that plumbing. That's what plumbers.
But I got one last thing to say about this. The reason you shouldn't look at people with this kind of bitch face is because you never know what's going to happen to them when they go around the corner to take a piss. Because they might get their throat bit out by a zombie, roamer, walker, whatever you want to use. It's The Walking Dead.
Thanks, Donna. Look at what you did. Look what your face did.
You stupid
That
jerk.
stink eye, they could smell it a mile away, and the zombies were brought to the camp. Andrea gets bitten.
Just
Yeah.
because.
No, sorry, Amy gets bitten.
Those
Andrea.
pipes. That's what I'm saying. Come on, Derek. Spin some game, dude. He's got them sisters. Although immoral.
Exactly. Yeah. Amy gets bitten. Andrea's the one that survives.
I do have a comment to say about this part, though. Actually, honestly, it's like turning this page. Like up until this point, it's been pretty subtle. Actually, like it really has. Like little zombie comic. You turn this page, it's like this is like the can opening of Hell Breaking Loose. Like she gets bit, it's all downhill from here for everybody. So like this is when the rapid deaths start happening.
Exactly. Yeah. So zombies start swarming the camp. Gunshots going off, drawing more.
I guess it was Amy she gave the look to because Amy's the one who got up.
Amy was the one that got bitten. Andrew's the one that survived. But that's not all. During the hubbub, Jim gets kind of tackled. He pushes one down. He starts pistol whipping it to death, which is
work, dude.
I don't know.
I'm buying this book.
Jim
I'm so buying.
Jim is such a rude dude. I like his look. He's just like an evil Luigi.
What's evil about Luigi?
Look at that face.
Hey! You were going down, you dead mother.
But he's not the one. He gets just a scratch during all this, Johnny. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, look how nuts he goes. Wait,
that's what I'm saying.
He is.
Yeah, that's the part. I like that one where he's just pistol whipping.
You killed my family. It's actually pretty sad.
Yeah.
Because he watched his family get.
Yeah,
killed.
and that's like the most emotive we've seen him so far. In the
for actually, we're being extra jokey for as serious as this book is. There is no joking in this book whatsoever, and we're just making cracks left and right. But
Johnny, we use humor to hide the pain.
It's true. But yeah, Jim got bitten, and here's
not enough jokes could hide that pain because he's got a huge bite mark in his arm. It's just a scratch. Charlie, in all fairness, he does look like Luigi. Thank you. And the next issue, we're at the funeral service for Amy. Everybody's saying what they miss about her, but Jim's not looking too good.
Yeah, and actually, wait, hold up real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I think we start out with 14, and now in that one scene, we've already lost 2 because Amy's dead and Jim got bit, and that's already.
To be fair, we don't know what happens when they get bitten. As he mentions in these next few pages,
we start to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He mentions that his family turned pretty quickly. It's been a day and a half. He survived the night. He's not dead yet, or he hasn't turned yet, but he's not looking good. He says that he feels like he's freezing, but at the touch, you'd burn yourself. So everybody's worried about him. Rick and Shane go out hunting, but the time that Rick and Shane spent together, it's mostly led with arguments over, what they should do next. Shane thinks that he's being blamed for these deaths because he didn't listen to Rick to move
here.
camp. And to be fair, he's right. This probably wouldn't have happened if they had gotten out of there.
But I love how just nuts he's getting. You even see it in this stupid look here. It's not
such emotive faces.
Pretty I don't know. That looks like the type of guy I wouldn't want sleeping with my wife.
Well, the good thing he wasn't. He was just protecting the wife and the child.
Because he's a good friend.
He's a good friend. A good friend.
Wouldn't betray his friend, even though he's yelling at him in the forest now, swearing at him. God damn it, Rick! It's not my fucking fault. Didn't count. I was reading it. I like this loophole.
Good question, Vic.
What's the question? How many people would want to sleep with your wife? Oh, are there many people that? No, but he's definitely not one.
Exactly.
If there was a list of people, he would not be on
down because he's a good friend. You wouldn't even have him on that list. He's out
I
of
wouldn't have
conversation.
worried about it because he's a trustworthy comrade. He took an oath to protect people.
My cop friend? Why would he?
Seems like a good guy.
Come on, Vic. He's not on
and
the
Lori,
list.
loyal wife.
And
good mother.
Carl, what a well-behaved child. Man, the way that Carl treats that little girl, he seems like.
I know.
Back to it. Jim is not doing too good, guys. I hate to break the news to you. Jim, he could feel it coming on. He tells Donna, he knows what he wants his last wishes to be. He wants to be left alone in the forest, so maybe one day he could rejoin with his family. And it's actually kind of an emotional scene. Like, again, maybe it's the fact that he's like this weird kind of like strong, silent type. We don't really know too much about Jim. We see like only his emotions come out when these zombies attack. But they leave Jim out in the forest because that's what he wanted his dying wishes to be. So pour one out to Jim, but don't actually pour it because then we have to.
Can't waste it. It's a valuable gold liquid right here. It's so good. It's almost as good as this Tony Moore artwork.
Sorry, I just caught up with Vic's comment there. He may not have protected her, but he sure did serve her.
You didn't see that? I thought you didn't say anything about it because you didn't want to acknowledge it. I was like, come on.
As was he eulogizing Jim, my boy, the actual one of the few pure souls in this book. Him
and Rick, heroes.
Yeah. But speaking of Rick,
at least they all have their hands. That doesn't change ever.
I hope that doesn't change that one bit. But what is changing? Shane's mood towards Rick. He's getting more and more embittered. When they come back to the camp, a fight breaks out. Shane takes a swing at Rick.
Yeah, he pows him right in the face, right?
He literally pows him. To which Lori comes up and defends him. Cat claws across Shane's face.
Wow, good timing. Yeah.
Exactly. Stay away from him, you freaking lunatic.
Okay, you're quoting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everyone in the camp gives him that look.
Is stunned, yeah. Stunned silence. And they're worried that now the camp is starting to fall apart. And the camp's not just the only one that's falling apart. Shane storms off into the forest and starts yelling at Rick that, he's got nothing left in this world. He's got no friends, no family, no respect, nothing. And, everything was so perfect.
Rodney Dangerfield.
That, jeez. That everything was so perfect until Rick came back. And he starts taking out on Rick. And, he pulls up his shotgun, aims it at Rick, says, you were never supposed to come back. You were never supposed to be alive.
But wait.
Yes?
Yeah, what's some of this other stuff he's saying here?
What is he saying, Johnny?
I can't. Wait. Uh-oh.
Yes, I'm listening.
Wait, where is it? I really can't find it.
I can't live like this, Rick. I thought I could, but I can't. I thought I could, and I did. Everything was so good. She would have come around
There's
eventually.
the line.
I know it. She would have. Everything was so perfect.
I hope he's talking about a metaphorical
Until
character.
you came back.
What? Everything was so perfect.
This is the only way. He draws the gun on Rick, ready to shoot, but somebody else shoots Johnny.
Bucktooth Carl.
Don't hurt my daddy again. Shot right in the neck. He starts bleeding out, falls over, drops the gun, collapses. Third person is dead, Johnny.
I was going to say, so we're down to 11. So in one issue, we dropped from 14 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
drop off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And there he is. And so that's the end of the first trade paperback. So that's the end of the first 6 books. The end of Tony Moore.
The end of the story arc. And then the art change. Also issue 7. Man, I hope it doesn't open up on some visual receipts that you were asking for.
Wait a minute. This doesn't look like the forest anymore. Lori?
What's going on? Also, yeah, let's see how different Lori looks here.
Oh yeah.
Lori and Shane. So we got Lori here staring at a city that seems to be burning, watching as cars are just kind of emptied on the road. But we've got Shane here.
Yeah, he's just being his good police friend self. He's checking up on her.
Exactly.
Are
Yeah.
you
He's
okay?
saying that you'll be okay. Rick will be okay. He's at the hospital. It's the safest place for him. The government's gonna sort this all out pretty soon. But Lori feels alone. But is she alone, Johnny?
Oh my God! It's everything we all suspected and knew the whole time. Remember when I said Lori was a cheating whore wife? Turns out,
Vaguely.
Lori's a cheating whore wife. And Shane? He's a son of a bitch best friend. What the hell, dude?
SOBBF. Yeah.
SOBBF?
Yeah,
Oh my
you hate to
God.
see it.
Dude,
But it's
pretty
like,
intimate, dude.
I mean, you know, they share a quick kiss, but you know, like Lori, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
And she gives in to her sexual lust. And as he says, I've wanted this for so long. She says she needs him. I hate this, man.
I'm not a fan either.
Because you know what?
We're talking about the art, right?
Yeah. No, I like Rick Grimes as a character, and like what ends up happening is like he knows that happened, and he like defends his wife still until whatever happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you were gone for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, they do.
And not even dead. And she cheated on you. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things too is they reveal that yeah, one of those frames gets so dark, Charlie. Yeah, jeez. They talk about how all this happened in basically the span of 3 weeks from Rick being shot to going into the hospital, being in a coma, waking up, and coming out is 3 weeks, which seems relatively quick for
you to, yeah, whatever they say their marriage is like. Well, what's Carl, 13 or 14 years old?
It's 3 weeks old. But yeah, we see Lori at the gravesite here, spitting on it, saying "you son of a bitch." But you know, things still happen.
Yeah, but you cheated on him and said you needed Shane. So it's like I don't like her character because we see what happened. Like we get that scene that we just made a big fuss over, and it's like, okay, it's not like you fought this, like you embraced it, and then like I don't know. I hate her.
Mm-hmm.
I hate her.
But we don't hate Rick. And
I don't hate Rick. I like Rick.
Neither does the camp because Carl basically.
Him the leader.
Yeah, they elect him the leader because he's a cop.
Yeah, look at how like stupid
level-headed.
Carl looks now with his like cool spiky hair.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That looks terrible.
I don't like this art. It's not that it's bad. It's just it was better before, more emotive. But yeah, they decide that now with Rick leader, they're going to enact his plan to move the camp.
This will show up as well on the screen.
Sure.
On the.
Oh yeah, doing a jump back and forth.
Trying to do. Okay, so there's Tony Moore, Rick.
Get a little bit closer. We got room. Get up in there, because it's this one, remember? So you got some space, yeah. There you go.
Working?
Some back to back, yeah, exactly. Rick.
On my thumb is Tony Moore.
Exactly. It's like an eye test. Number 1, number 2. Number 1.
Different
number
art,
2.
man.
Different art, different strokes, but I don't know. Again, I kind of like the left side because, again, like in those 6 issues, like there's a lot of emotion and like a lot of big scenes happen, and I feel like even just like the Lori one, Lori just kind of staring daggers at Rick, like it's a small scene, but it I don't know, shows a lot of emotion, but maybe that's just me. And then we've got the moving camp in the dead of night. There's a car stuck in the way. They're pushing it out of the road, and they come across 3 survivors.
Oh, so we're back up to 14.
Exactly, yeah,
Good.
Exactly. 1 in, 1 out.
Perfectly balanced, as everything should be.
Exactly, yeah. We've got 3 survivors coming up. It's Julie, Chris.
You know, it's interesting. Tyrese in the show is a badass, but he's a badass for different reasons than he is in the comic, and he's a badass in the comic. Tyrese is an amazing character.
Yeah,
I like Tyrese a lot. So this is where we meet Tyrese, his daughter Julie,
and that's Snake Chris.
Don't like that Chris.
I don't. I remember disliking him even in my first read when I was a kid.
Yeah.
High school, like 15 or 16. I think the reason that I dislike him is because he was also the one that I think I looked the most like, because I had short hair, glasses. We kind of see him. Do you want to pull up the full page spread where it's whoa whoa hold your fire with Tyrese and his family behind? You can kind of see Chris in the background there, just barely peeking in. But that's how I looked. And then like as we go on, we kind of find more out about Chris and kind of an SOB. Yeah. So I think that's why I just definitely didn't like him as much. But yeah, Tyrese, we find out, him, his daughter, and his daughter's girlfriend were survivors that made their way through. And they're looking to, help out any way that they can.
And he's got his patented ballpoint hammer.
I was gonna say, yeah, any way that Tyrese can is apparently physical brute strength. They get.
That's artwork's not bad.
Yeah,
just different.
It's not that bad. It's just different. They get attacked by 2 zombies, and we see Tyrese kind of go into town because we find out later that he used to be in the NFL and then a bouncer. and held these different jobs. But all in all, he could hold his own. And we noticed that, but also Carol notices that. Carol starts taking a shine to our boy Tyrese. Exactly, yeah, a lot of eyes, lovey-dovey eyes.
Yeah, but what's up here?
Yeah, what's
like
up with Glenn? Wait, move your hand.
that's what I was about to show. So, like, she's giving him eyes, he's giving her eyes, and then we just see this little Glenn. We haven't seen... Well, what's
Sad
up with
Glenn,
my boy
yeah,
Glenn? I like Glenn a lot, too.
That's me, just, like my eyes in. It's Glenn okay? Maybe he's sleepy. It's nighttime.
Yeah, otherwise looking down. Maybe he has feelings for Carol.
He's just sleepy.
I think he had a pretty big bomb drop. So Lori's off standing in the distance.
Yeah.
This is crazy how this works, because I've been explaining the birds and the bees in my life, and we're going to use some science here.
Okay.
Okay. So Lori's standing off in the distance in the thunder and the lightning, because that's cool. Lori.
Yep.
And Rick walks up to her and asks if everything is okay. And she says, "No, Rick. I'm pregnant."
Hold up.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Do you need a hand?
I don't, because I think, if I remember this correctly from my high school sex ed class, in order to get pregnant, you have to, in fact, have sex. Now, you have to have sex with somebody of the opposite sex to, in fact, become pregnant. You're writing this down, right?
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Okay,
Don't worry.
so you would need a mate, like a husband, but your husband was in a coma somewhere else. So you would have had to have sex with somebody who's not your husband. But we just saw you have sex with somebody who's not your husband. But you're pregnant. But now your husband's back because he didn't die because you didn't wait long enough or find out that he was dead. So if my math is correct, Michael, and I believe you're double checking it for
I'm
me,
checking it here. Yeah. We're
I
right at
believe
here.
the answer to this equation is Lori is a cheating whore wife. And she got herself pregnant by her husband's best friend. Does that math check out, Michael? It's been a while since I've taken that sex ed course.
Johnny, I hate to say it, but the math is sound. We
That's
find
what's
out
going
here.
on, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing here. I double-checked, I triple-checked the math.
Well, we can close the book on that story. End of The Walking Dead. The math checks out. So you couldn't go 3 weeks.
I could have used my bookmark ruler to help get to the end of that one. I don't know why. This is my bookmark that I was using during this one. I got a lot of bookmarks at Barnes & Noble when it was closing. It's got a cool moon on there. It's black and white. It has a quote about something shoot for the moon, stars. LeBron said that one. But for whatever reason, on the back it just has a ruler, and I don't know why not just. I guess if you needed to make sure that you read exactly 6 inches worth of Walking Dead at some point, that you can find out that way. So.
I mean, that's how I judge my books. Well, they don't have page counts.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I have to know how long is that book. Literally, how long is that book? But it helps us with the math, and that's what's important. So I guess it worked out.
Well, they go back to camp, and they let everybody know that she's pregnant.
Yep.
And our boy Derek decides to go up and have a word with Rick. And I actually think he's just as good at math as we are because he.
He's Professor Derek is in class.
And he brings up the fact to Rick. It's just that you've only been with us a little over a month, and the timing of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Could this mean?
And Rick says just not another word. And he
word,
can't deal with it.
Yeah,
and
he's like, you don't think I'm thinking about that too, but there's no time. There's no time for this tomfoolery because they got to stay strong and make sure that they get out of this together. And he just doesn't want to deal with it right now. It's too much stress. So they hop back in the van and they are looking for a new home.
Yeah, and in this search, because it's cold out and it's wintry, they come across this frozen ass zombie in the ground, which I thought was a cool ass panel.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of do the some thinking, some postulating. They're like, well, the fact is it's so cold out. The blood, they don't really have any blood in their veins, so I guess maybe they just happen to freeze more. Which science is sound. But yeah, leave none alive. Boy, I hope nobody at some point is keeping zombies alive because they're worried that they might, eventually come back to become.
Yeah, that would be a stupid thought. You'd have to believe in some pretty stupid things in life to be that stupid and do something that irresponsible and put your family at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you don't introduce any characters that stupid.
No, not in this.
Because you should just kill them, like you said.
'Cause we've got Rick here, and Rick knows better than that.
Protect my family.
And Rick knows a good deal when he sees one because they come across Wiltshire Estates, the gated community. Looks like we hit the jackpot.
And guess what? Pre-apocalypse, you couldn't afford to live here.
But now that it's post-apocalypse,
It's a gated community.
anybody
like
gets in.
Rosemont.
Anybody gets in.
So we don't have to explain who Rosemont is since we don't have anybody from Belgium watching.
Yo, where are you? I miss you. So they go into these the houses, looking for a place to set up here. They come across what seems to be a big enough house to hold them, and they start clearing it out because they want to make sure that they could. Exactly, Charlie. There goes the neighborhood. Who let these ragamuffins in their RV filled to the brim.
That's some good artwork there. It's a good splash page.
Yeah, exactly. In the basement, they find some zombies. Rick is lunged at, but he's saved by Tyrese, who helps him clean up.
Shoulder tackle, in fact.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where we find out.
NFL,
baby. It's all. It's 3 letters. Say them, and I'm yours. NFL. And they clean out the house. They come across a whole bunch of food here, which makes them think that.
Yeah, it's the peaches conversation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where we find out about canned peaches. But they mentioned that
they got pears, apples, pineapples, peaches, cherries. If they can grapes, how should they have them there too?
Thank you, Donna. But this is where we find out.
I don't like Donna neither. I hope she dies.
That's a horrible thing to say, Johnny.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is a pretty horrible book, and horrible things happen. Wait, speaking of horrible things, Donna for some reason turns a little corner here, and she finds a bunch of blankets. Or no, it's a bunch of towels, and she's going around offering them to everybody, including Tyrese. And then she comes to a door.
Hold on, she has a nice conversation with Tyrese. She's very sweet in this scene.
She welcomes him to the group.
I didn't get a chance to say hi. I hope you're okay. Like, I hope your family's doing fine. Good night, Tyrese. Sleep well.
And then she goes to, who the hell is this Dale character?
Yeah, Dale, what?
So
probably meant Derek.
Yeah, typo. So she knocks on the door. Dale, Andrea, guys, I found...
What did she find, Donna?
Whoa.
Boy, it's so dark in there.
You could still see the wrinkles.
If only there was some way that we'd have a little bit better art to kind of show the detailing that's going on here.
You know what, though? How come she went from that, like, bitch face to, like, ooh, that turns me on?
Mm-hmm.
She looks aroused. I've never seen her aroused, but I imagine that's the look she gives.
I'd rather not think about that.
Well, you know who would like to think about that? Her husband, Alan. As a matter of fact, he even asks her, or even says to her, the Ice Queen melted, because she's saying how she's happy that, like, they have such good people that they're around, and she saw Andrea and Dale, and it makes her happy that they have each other.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the only thing that's melting right here, Johnny.
No, it's not.
What's happening outside?
Looks like some snow is melting, and it looks like it was covering a sign. And what did that sign say?
All dad, do not enter. This is a dad's only neighborhood.
Oh, some of these fathers are bad at protecting their kids.
Some more than others.
Yeah. So then, whoa, Tyrese and Carol are sleeping close to each other. That's how this opens. Baby.
Not the walking dad, Charlie. We got the waking dad because morning comes and everybody gets up, gets ready to go out. They realize, like, all right, well, we're gonna start cleaning out houses in the neighborhood because, as nice as it is that we all were able to find some shelter here, we may as well be able to spread out a little bit. So they say, hey, you guys check that house. Rick's gonna run back to the RV to get some guns and make sure that everything is fine. But Alan, talking to Donna, be careful, hun. Don't go all the way in just yet. Look in the windows or try something and wait until Tyrese has his gun and we can all go in, to which she says, you worry too much.
Yeah, but there I see something in the background behind her. I wonder what he's worrying too much about. And then we see our boy Rick come up on this sign that we just saw revealed. It says, all dead do not enter. And then he drops one of his patented F-bombs. Oh,
he should have saved that for a couple pages later because, kind of the bottom right looks worried, yeah.
Oh, and then the next page, so then, I love this panel, this is pretty vicious. So then Donna was right there, remember up to 14. Boom, back down to 13.
Yeah,
Donna, you're
13.
getting your face bit in. Oh, man, dude.
I hope she's okay.
She won't be okay.
Yep. And this is where we lose Donna.
Yep.
That's got to ouch you very much indeed, Vic. That they've poked the hornet's nest here. There's a whole lot more zombies than they initially thought. And they have to start,
many, in fact.
They got to start making their way out. Yeah.
So Tyrese goes in his house to get his angelic daughter, who I also think very highly of, because she seems like she has morals. She's a good girl. She's like she wants to be loyal.
I hope that her boyfriend
responsible.
isn't some sneaky, conniving SOB.
Wait,
happens to look like a young
if he
me,
wasn't
and I
a
don't like
sneaking,
that.
conniving SOB, why the hell would his clothes be off
What's
with
going on
Tyrese's
here?
daughter? What are you doing, man? She's just a little girl. I know you're just a little boy.
SOBVF, exactly. Thank you, Charlie. He's the worst.
So even Tyrese, he wants to know what the F they're doing.
But no time for this. Get
Get your
clothes on.
goddamn clothes on. Slams the door. Man, if I had a nickel for every time my dad. Just kidding. Wait until marriage.
But yeah, they get out of there by the skin of their teeth. Donna, R.I.P. Donna, pour one out for her. But
I'm wasting my bubbly on her. Now when Jimbo died, I wouldn't even give this to him.
Exactly.
I would trade 3 Donnas for 1 Jim. Jim.
Yeah, man, what happened to Jim? He was so good.
He's
But
dead.
to be fair, we didn't see it though, Johnny. To be fair,
He might make a comeback in Walking Dead issue 194.
we'll have to stick around that long to find out.
Yeah.
And then so they hit to the road again because at this point, their luck has run out. Their luck has run out. Jesus.
The ruck has run out. We're fresh out of ruck.
No rucks to give. And they hit the road again, looking for a new place to live. Food is getting sparse. They're back to hunting, so they head to the
some
forest.
canned peaches.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if one of the, if you need food and you want some tender meat, you would take the meat of a child. But you would never you would never kill a child to do that.
Yeah, that's a
But
crazy.
what would happen if your boy got shot? Pow!
Cow.
Oh my God!
Carl, no.
Carl has been shot. They went out hunting, and Carl got shot.
Why would they do that?
The hunted.
Have you realized what you've done? I'll kill you.
Man,
Man,
this dude came out. He looks pretty hick-like. Probably's got a weird name like
should we
Otis or
lower the
something.
count from 13 to 12? Is the death count up one?
It might be. He just got shot. That's usually a dead. Usually a sign of death. But wait, Tyrese tells Rick to stop. Carl's not dead. He's alive?
He's breathing?
He's alive! Thank God he's alive! Alright, let's get back to the camp. No, he is alive, but they wrap him up in a blanket, and the dude who just shot him, ironically, says that he has a farm that he lives on.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's a guy
There's a doctor.
that owns the place.
A veterinarian, basically.
And
He's
he
an
had a
animal
son
doctor.
who was shot in the foot. But he got the bullet out, patched him up good. He works on animals around the farm. He is a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the best they can do right now. So it looks like they're going to take Carl to a veterinarian.
Yeah, they take Carl to the vet.
because he's
Tyrese
a
runs
little
back
bitch.
to camp to let them know, hey, there's a farm up the road. We're gonna drive on over there.
You know what I find funny about this, though? It's judging by the artwork, and maybe there's something to that.
Certainly is.
But it's also the writing. Laurie freaks out less at Carl getting shot than when he got his gun.
Yeah, then when he got it.
I thought that was
before
funny.
he got shot with the gun. Yeah.
So she finds out what's going on. Rick shows up at this. Hold on a second. Mr. Miyagi. Got it.
Oh, I thought this was story time where you were gonna draw something.
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're not there yet. But so they run up to the farm. They meet, the family that's living there. They patched up Carl. They got the bullet out.
Good old Patch.
Patch Adams is living there with his family.
That movie made me cry.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so. But we meet Herschel Green and his family. Herschel Green being the doctor, veterinarian that got the bullet out of Carl. Carl's kind of in stable condition, and he offers up, while he's recovering, that Rick, his family, and the survivors can kind of set up camp here in the meantime while Carl kind of recovers.
Yeah, and Tyrese approaches Otis, and Otis explains how he didn't mean to do it. He wouldn't hurt a fly, and Tyrese understands. And at the same time, a juxtaposition. Andrea approaches Alan to talk about his wife dying, and Alan says some things. Alan says some things that even I won't say to a woman. So I'm just gonna flash this real quick, and then I'm gonna segue into my story.
My wife just died.
Yeah. So that if you can read this whole bubble here.
You might want to pause, zoom in. There's a lot of rough stuff.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
C-bombs.
But most specifically, that C-bombs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that word I want to talk about. So real quick, C-bomb.
Whoa.
We got some
What's
more
up? I missed it. I didn't get the notification. Wait a minute. I added the notification stuff. We should be getting that. I don't know if it popped up on stream, but we've got a new subscriber.
Oh, who?
Camaro421 followed, and he's throwing up some Wolverines in the chat.
Yeah, we didn't get a notification. I'm looking around and we didn't get one.
Yeah, Alan?
The mail's not here. You got a marker? Give me that Sharpie.
Sure.
In the cup.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, that's C-bomb. That word that rhymes with the baseball term bunt, but starts with the letter C.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you all know, I worked at Starbucks before I worked here. And before everything went completely digital, we used to have to write the names on the cup.
Yeah, yeah.
And as we talked about, I have pretty nice writing. And one time,
I don't know where this is going already.
Just for the sake of telling you guys how I write in all capital letters all the time. That's just how I write.
Yeah.
I write all capital letters. And one day, a man came in with the name Clint.
Oh boy.
And I wrote the name Clint on his cup. And then I went to hand that cup off to my partner, and that's what it looks like. And I never thought or realized that before in my entire life until this guy had me write it on his cup. And I was like, oh my God, this can be taken the wrong way.
You said write it on his cup, right?
Better pass it down. I did, and I just went with it. And every time that guy came in after that, I was like, hey, Clint. And I don't know if he ever noticed or if this was a thing that he dealt with his whole life, but that's really funny. So if you write in all capital letters, make sure you keep a good amount of space between your L's and I's in the name Clint.
Gotta keep them separated, Johnny. You know this.
Yep. The Offspring wrote a whole song about it.
I was gonna say, they were specifically writing about this situation.
See, you know punk rock.
I guess.
The Offspring are punk rock.
Sure.
They are.
No, I know. I'm saying sure, as in I wouldn't know any better. I'll take your word for it.
But the Offspring are punk rock.
But
that's my Johnny Secrets. That's a funny one.
That's quite a secret. But it's no secret here that Alan's becoming unhinged at the death of his wife.
Yeah.
He starts swearing off at Angela. What's her name?
Yep. No, Andrea.
Andrea. Thank you. Daryl. Yelling at Andrea.
Daniel.
Who's just trying to console him. She tries and gives up. Carl, on the other hand, starts feeling a little bit better. Weird, spiky-headed Carl gets up out of bed, immediately demanding that hat, which I don't think he earned.
Where's my hat?
I don't know. Yeah, nobody better have taken my hat, he says, to which I'd say, why does he get the hat? They explain that he had been shot, not intentionally, although sometimes I kind of wish.
Yeah, I hate that little prick.
Yeah.
So still 13.
Is he though? Like I feel like this kid's like 10, but I don't know. Maybe it's the art. Maybe it's just the way he acts.
No, bro.
I can't really.
The number of people in the group.
Oh.
Because you were asking, does it drop to 12?
Exactly. Yeah.
Still 13.
Yeah.
Damn it, Herschel.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to keep. Next time we're gonna have to have a whiteboard here and just mark them alive and dead. But actually, I guess if you count the family here,
I know we up our numbers again.
The family grows.
But hopefully that gets weaned out because it's a lot of characters to remember.
Yeah. All these names. Two of the girls look exactly alike, and I have a tough
well, they're
time.
sisters. Exactly. That's good art. Yeah, believe it or not, that time it's good.
So I couldn't really piece them together, but I guess one wears flannel more than the other. We see another it's not Daryl.
Glenn.
Glenn, yeah.
We see. There's our new couple, Carol and Tyrese. And Glenn's giving him that Glenn look, like I'm a creepy guy who just looks at other couples.
Which he does.
And he does. And then, but he's noticed by Maggie Green. Maggie Green, the daughter of Herschel, notices, and she goes and asks what's up with that because he noticed her staring. And he's like, well, I kind of used to think that Carol was pretty until Tyrese showed up and she's all Google over him. And And then
Some
out of
language
nowhere,
habits
Maggie
here.
offers to
F 'em.
to fuck him.
Well, to F them.
That's what she says. I'm just quoting.
John, I think we've used our allotment of swears for like the next like year, so we're gonna have to.
That's what. Yeah, we're also reading a mature book.
Like, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's a lot more.
We
I didn't read any of that.
We
Jim.
get an
It's not a
unlimited pass
cursive.
for this one, yeah.
Thank you. No, Charlie, you're wrong. Vic, you know what's up. Quotes save everything. Proper grammar. See what proper grammar gets you? It gets you more swears on a live stream.
You know who I wish I could swear more about though? We've got Chris here in the next panel.
Yeah, this little prick. Prick's not a swear word.
Yeah,
You
it's-
prick your thumb on attack.
There we go. Stop swearing, Jonathan. But yeah, we get we finally Tyrese gets to catch up with his daughter and daughter's boyfriend, and lets them know, hey, you know, no more fooling around, you two. We've got enough to worry about. We've already got one pregnancy on the way. We don't need another one at a time like this. Keep your hands to yourselves. And man, like straight on like anime villain style, we get like the dark glasses glare of, see, I told you we needed to go ahead and do it. I want to be together with you for the rest of eternity. I don't want your father to stand in the way of that.
Man, you do a good impression of him. Maybe you were like him.
To which Julie says, I know I don't want to do it until the right time. We have to wait. Fine, Julie. We'll play it your way, but I don't want to wait forever.
You know, do you remember when I was upselling this to Christina and I was talking about a certain scene? I was like, there's this really graphic scene that like is messed up scene, and I think it's the most messed up scene in comics. Do you remember me talking about that?
I do.
And I said to her, and I was like, I think it's in the first book, but if it's not in the first book, it's right in the beginning of the second. It is definitely not in this first book. It is in the beginning of the second one, but it is what he is talking about. When you find out what, I'm not saying what it is. You know, right?
Yes, that's why I'm like,
dude.
When I got reminded that this character existed, and I'm like,
yes,
like the weird like.
I think for my money, it is the like.
I'm not a fan.
We read Berserk. I think that is the most messed up panel I've ever seen in comics. When we should eventually we'll read the second book because I want to bring us back to this in a couple months, and we'll get to it. Man, do I hate Chris.
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, do we get to catch up with this?
But you know, I want to ask, do you remember, and I think it's written this way, this is like our first serious like critique of this the whole time. I do have like a serious question, like, okay, because he kind of does his little alluding to it a few times.
Yeah.
The way it's done, did you think the first time that they were going to kill Tyrese? It seems like they're plotting to kill him.
Yeah,
and I will tell you that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
spoilers.
exactly. But every time, and then like we see more scenes with that, and they're like getting a gun, and they're talking about like, you know, your father standing in the way of something.
Yeah, it's definitely alluded they're going to kill Tyrese. At least that's what I got. So you got that too the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, they've got this great plan. He's standing in the way of it. They want to be together for eternity.
Well, if a football player's standing in the way of you, you'd let them stand there.
Exactly, yeah.
They're big men.
And then we cut back to we got Rick and Herschel, the two patrons of these, I guess,
groups.
These groups, yeah, the survivors. And we find out Herschel's got a secret. You know, Rick's asking, like, you know,
Herschel's secrets live on the Comics Corner.
Here's the worst
Well,
secret.
Herschel, what's your secret? The barn. You don't want to go in there.
Well, hold up, real quick.
What?
They want to go to the barn because they're saying, you know, hey, you know, instead of us cramming in your house, you've got a big house. Like, there's a lot of people in there. We want to respect your space. Why don't you let us stay out in the barn? In the barn.
The barn. You don't want to go in there. Trust me. That's where we keep all our dead.
End of issue 10.
I will tell you, that was the end of an issue.
Exactly, yeah.
Because they always do end on like a cliffhanger.
Exactly, but it flows so well together in the book. Like
no, it does. Like there's no break, and you think it's just the next panel.
Exactly,
it's true.
That's an issue.
Good. I think
yeah, it is.
Real barn burner. I like you, Charlie. Stick around, buddy.
Can I not like him?
You can.
But yeah, so they talk about the barn, and that's where he keeps his son got bit, family members, neighbors, and instead of killing them, they've corralled them into the barn because Herschel is of a mind that at some point maybe they'll get better. You know, we don't know what's actually happening, and to his credit, they don't know what's causing this, what's going on, you know, why they changed, if they stay that way forever. Maybe they'll turn back. You know, they could wake up for tomorrow and be healed, for all we know. And you know, it's kind of an emotional scene because we see Herschel kind of battling with, you know,
Well, he says
the
that
weight
his
of
son
all
was
this.
one of the
Exactly,
people who
yeah,
died, and that's the thing that kind of gets Rick.
Exactly, yeah.
Because like, I'm telling Rick's like, you're nuts, and he's like, and my son, and Rick's like, your son. He's
crap.
like, oh,
you literally just saved my son, so I can't imagine what you went through for years. So I mean, it's a valid point, but also Rick is.
Well, that's
kind
what
of
makes
right.
this not just like a zombie book.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
it's got that kind of stuff that you're like, oh. You wouldn't just kill. Like, what if it was your kid that just turned into a zombie? Would you kill it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a parent, but I can't imagine that'd be easy.
Yeah. So Rick, kind of stands down a little bit upon hearing that, but it's still, saying like, what's in there, what you think is your son is no longer your son. He's just a rotting corpse. He's not sick. He's just dead. And there's kind of, they're at odds about this. They go their separate ways. He's gonna, he's not going to push him on it. He still doesn't think that it's right, but he says, he's going to trust you on this and hope you're right that that the barn is fine. So they go back. He's talking with with Alan at night here. He's trying to kind of console Donna, console him about Donna, saying, I know it's rough what you're going through right now, but we're going to get through this. He misses his wife. But they've all got to kind of stick together through all this.
Happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm. Is Glenn okay during all this, Johnny? Checking in, Johnny in the field. How's Glenn doing?
Glenn, he looks pretty happy, dog. Oh wait, I went a little farther ahead.
Yeah, no worries.
Glenn.
Well, I mean, he looks happy. Why does he look so happy in the morning now?
Well, because at night there, he was about to leave the RV, and Rick's like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, don't worry, I won't wander off too far. And then,
he's wandering kind of far.
He's making off with the farmer's daughter.
Yep.
Find value at Farm and Fleet. Glenn found value at Farm and Fleet. Oh, did he ever?
I was going to say something, farmersonly.com. But yeah, so next morning, Herschel and Rick are talking. Rick is saying, hey, we've got a lot of guns. We taught our folks how to shoot their guns. That's helped them out. Reminds me of Mr. Show. You have to be more specific, Charlie. There's a lot of good episodes of Mr. Show. Bob Odenkirk and David Cross.
Oh, what? What is this?
What? You don't know? It was like a late 90s HBO sketch comedy show. Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. Man, it's top tier. It's the funniest sketch comedy show.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
How many seasons did it go for? It probably didn't last long as it
No, it wasn't that long. I think it was three or four.
Holy shit!
They're great.
We have to watch.
Exactly. That's what that.
Charlie, if you can hear me,
I've got the DVDs. Don't worry.
We have to watch those together.
Oh yes, Charlie, I do remember that one now. That is a wild one, and we'll have to watch those together. But yeah, it seems like things are kind of settling down on the farm again. We get to see, much like at the camp, people doing target practice, enjoying themselves for once again. They're having fun. To which Tyrese says, "This isn't a game, Julie. This is serious."
Wait, is this where Chris mouths off to him?
Kind of.
Prick?
Oh yeah.
Where the hell's that panel? Oh yeah, right there.
There you go. You want to?
This isn't a game, Julie. This is serious stuff. You listen to Rick and do everything he says.
She knows, man. You don't have to worry. We're taking this seriously.
Good to know. Thanks, Chris.
Nice one.
Nails it.
Nice one, man.
Thanks, but my teacher deserves all the credit. Sorry, I didn't know we were still doing that. I thought you were saying my sound effect was nice, and I'm like, it wasn't that good, but okay.
Yeah. Line. And Herschel comes out because they're shooting at...
Whoa! Stop Oh, are we done doing the lines? I'm sorry.
They're shooting at the neighbor's house, and even though there's nobody there, he doesn't want them damaging the property, because what if they come back?
Yeah, I didn't get this part, though. Rick starts to ask him, sorry about that, the hello, Mr. Thompson. I had no idea the Thompsons, huh? Are they in your barn? And then Herschel's like, that's not the point. And then Rick's like, that's not what I meant. And I'm like, well, what did you mean? Even I was like, what the hell did you mean? Why were you asking that? Did you pick up anything else? Or is that just a
that's where I thought it too. I'm
okay.
Like, I'm like, what are you talking about, Rick? That's not like an innuendo or any like double entendre.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Thompson. But yeah, out of nowhere, a zombie comes staggering forward.
He's talking to you. Oh my God! I wasn't even reading that. Oh, Charlie, we're so on the same wavelength, dude. That was unbelievable. I mean, that was like coming out of my mouth as I looked down and saw you just sent that. That was so weird. That was the happiest moment I've had on this, and that was the happiest moment in George Michael's entire life.
Well, it doesn't get any happier in the story. They come across the zombie that wandered onto set, basically.
Yeah, basically, it looks like it was from like Hawaii.
Yeah, I like his Hawaii.
We're in Kentucky,
right?
and he's got that. Oh, no, they're in Georgia now. Peaches, right?
Peaches, yeah.
Peaches.
Wearing his Georgia Hawaiian shirt. He wanders up. Rick is ready to shoot him, but Herschel, stops him, saying, like, "Hey, man, that's not what we do around here. We put him in the barn." He's like, like, I've got a system. He's not gonna hurt you. We just gotta lead him to the barn. He goes back to the barn, opens the door.
He's like, I've got a system. Someone else distracts him and he grabs him by the head.
Exactly. I like how
that's the dumbest system I've ever seen. Because in the show, at one point, I thought it was with Herschel, but it might be at a different point. They have these like poles with like little like nooses at the end. I thought it was the scene within the farm, and that he uses that to like herd them in. Oh well, he's got the farm. I think in the show they use that instead of him just
grabbing it. What a good system.
That's so funny. Look, even the zombies like stupid Herschel.
Boy, I hope everything is okay with Herschel.
Yeah, hopefully his stupid idea doesn't go stupid because he kept zombies in a barn. Also, why are Arnold and the sister in there? They don't explain that.
Yeah, like they don't really. They just kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, but anyways,
wait.
Yes. What?
Yeah, why are they in there? Wait, hold on. I guess I never noticed that the yell was coming from inside the barn. Is something going on there, Johnny?
No, there's no yell inside the barn. They
Yeah.
don't yell. No, they don't yell inside the barn. They're just gonna go put the zombie in there.
Yeah.
And then they open it,
they get in there.
and the zombie falls. Another zombie falls out because you were storing zombies, and you got overloaded with zombies.
Although there's
we learned that from Uzumaki.
although-
The house gets overloaded. We just crawl out the freaking windows. So right there, the zombie falls out on the Herschel, and then his like kids were like up in the rafters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
see.
like
I
this
feel
anymore.
like
I think I totally because again.
Well, wait. You know what I think?
Yes.
Wait. No, it's the kid in the show. I think Maggie and Glenn are in there. Like that's their spot, and they don't, or he doesn't know the zombies are down there or something. I feel like Maggie and Glenn are in there like fooling around.
But I think that is that what's going on though? Like
no, I don't think so.
Because
why are they up there? They don't explain that at all.
Yeah, Johnny.
I'm gonna look this up.
I think I totally missed that scene that the yell was that they were the ones that was yelling because I thought they were outside because it looked like when he jumps down I thought he was like jumping out like the porch.
No, they're inside. They're in this scene right there.
Oh man, alive!
They're
Johnny.
up there.
I don't like this book anymore. This dang ponytail dude. But yeah, they jump out, tries to help his dad who's getting overrun with the zombies that were in the barn. But in doing so, he gets bit, which is ironic because it's bitten by his brother too.
Yeah, sure.
The zombie that bit him was his own brother. Gosh darn it. Shots are fired. They just lay waste to all the zombies that were being stored up in the house.
Well, Herschel's the one who unloads on his son. He unloads on both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Arnold. Sorry, Sean.
And
then he goes to kill himself.
Who's the non-Maggie daughter?
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
Not important.
Well,
I think it began with an L.
It's something with an L, but she takes an L because guess what? Add it to the big board.
That was funny.
We're now down another two people.
Lacey.
Yeah, Lacey and Arnold.
Lacey and Arnold
are bitten by the zombies.
Oh wait, no. Okay, wait. Here it is. No, it does make sense. They're not fooling around. I went back. Okay, they're outside with him. We figured this out. It's good writing. Okay, this is where the zombie shows up, right?
Yeah.
And he says,
Oh, yeah,
"I'm gonna need help."
Getting him in the barn. Yeah.
Arnold, Lacey go in the barn. He says it right there. So they go in the barn. They must be up there to distract him
go
and
back and
yell.
distract the others while I throw them in. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. You're Robert Kirkman. You're off the hook this time. But Lacey and Arnold get bitten. He has to put down all of the zombies. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, Arnold. I'm sorry. Puts a gun to his head. Yeah, it's a rough scene.
And Maggie tells him to stop. So wait. So yeah, we got it. I'm not gonna do the math anymore.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah, the math checks out. Just understand. We see
People die left and right.
Another emotional scene as he's got 3 new gravestones that they're praying in front of.
Yep, and then we turn the page, and
I hope, is Tyrese okay during all this? We haven't seen him in a bit. How's he holding up with his family?
Well, he's sitting outside there, and he gets approached by his daughter and Chris, Julie and Chris, and they're being good children. Dad, Mr. Grimes never took our guns back after target practice. I don't want you to get mad at us for still having them later, so we're giving them to you. Rick's had a lot on his hands today, Julie. I'll just, you know what? Hold on to them. You'll be safer with them. I just don't want to see them out unless it's an emergency. Keep them holstered at all times.
Okay.
And then, creepy Chris. Okay.
Okay.
And they walk away. And Finally.
I thought that bastard would never let us have guns. It's going to be so much easier now.
Yes. We'll do it as soon as the time is right. I love you, Chris.
I love you too. Blah, blah, blah. Kisses. And that's the end of issue 11. But issue 12, hold on now. Is everybody going to be okay? We cut to morning. Speaking of morning, it's morning sickness for Lori. Throwing up again. Herschel goes into his daughter Maggie's room. Uh-oh, who's that in the bed too?
It's Glenn!
Glenn!
He is laid on.
Exactly, yeah.
Actually, he was just comforting her this night.
Kind of, yeah. It was a rough night for everybody. Yeah, sisters died. They're cleaning out the barn, hoping to stay there. Rick's not having any of it though because my thoughts exactly, Charlie. Rick isn't having any of it because he doesn't like the fact that, like, hate to be blunt, but there's some empty rooms in the house now. Now that things have gotten weeded out, that they've stayed here long enough. They've earned their right to be in the house, not in the zombie barn. So he goes over to confront Herschel, but he is having absolutely none of it. Leave me alone. Basically, you guys, you've got to go. That's it.
Ever since he showed up, shit's been going on.
Yeah, it's their fault. And it starts a whole argument on the farm. Lori gets involved, saying, hey, it's not, my husband's fault that anybody got killed. It's because of your own stupidity that you were, hoarding zombies in the barn like an idiot. Herschel raises his hand to her, about to slap her. Sparks are flying, and Herschel just kicks him out. He says, I've had enough of this. Everybody out right now. Pulls a gun to Rick's head. This Carl going for his gun though.
Yeah. Well, he's
trigger happy. You've seen it once before. So he brings a gun.
Look at his dad.
I thought it was gonna happen again. Look at how ready he was.
He is.
But no, they go quietly. They decide that it's Herschel's farm. We're not gonna start a fight here. If he wants us to go, we're gonna go. They all start packing up into the RV. Everybody except Glenn.
Yeah, he weaseled his way into the Herschel's good graces somehow.
Exactly, yeah.
Sleep with his daughter and you're in.
I guess so, yeah. So Glenn decides he's going to stay. Everybody else hops in the RV. They hit the road once again. Again, they've got to travel the road, killing zombies, looking for things to eat. Nothing really working out. Nighttime falls. The kids aren't even having enough to eat. So they keep driving. They take a hike. They get atop of the hill. And they're surprised because they find something, Johnny.
Yeah, actually, I meant to bring this up earlier. Yeah, they find this prison, man. Way early in the book, and I noticed it reading it this time, they mention a prison really early on. There's a throwaway line, and I'm like, man, was that like a premonition? I don't know, I'd have to find it, but
they mentioned that with the amount of space that's there, that there's not that many zombies.
Yeah.
The fences themselves aren't a whole lot to hold up, but that could be bolstered. They found it, Johnny. It's perfect. We're home. And with that, that's the end.
Yeah, sorry, I want to find that line now.
But that is the end of issue 12 of The Walking Dead. And if you had the hardcover, again, there's one more extra bonus, 6-page extra comic. Which we follow. Johnny, what was his name? The family
Morgan.
at the start. Morgan. Morgan and his son.
Dwayne.
It's Christmas. Morgan and Dwayne. If you want to actually pull up that, I know you're looking for the prison thing, but that last comic, there was something small in that one that I that irked me when he hands him the Game Boy. But yeah.
And why is that?
It doesn't look like a Game Boy.
Let's see.
So keep going. So it's basically the shtick of it is it's Christmas time, or basically about Christmas time. They don't know what actually day it is, but he knows that it's close to Christmas. So he got Dwayne a Game Boy, and was saying, I know it's rough out you, without, mom's not here. It's been a rough time, but he just wants him to be happy, and has an emotional moment with his son, to which his son just says, "Huh?" He's too busy playing the Game Boy. Can you show the Game Boy?
Yeah,
it looks like a Game Boy Advance maybe. I bet. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe it's like when your mom's like, put off the Nintendo, but it's a
Exactly,
PlayStation,
yeah,
and you're like, okay,
Put your
mom.
Nintendo away, Dwayne. But yeah, he's playing on his Game Boy, which only has enough batteries to last him for a little bit. But yeah, it's just kind of like throwaway makes it sound bad, but it's just a small little moment with them. There's like an intro by Robert Kirkman, which he says, hey, he felt bad that he didn't get to use enough of these characters, so he made this little one-off, and maybe they'll be back. But we'll have to read more to find out, and maybe we'll come back to this, Johnny, right?
I would love to. I really liked it. I actually really want to.
I hope we find out what's going on with Chris. Is he okay? Is he doing any
shenanigans
weird stuff? Yeah, I hope not. He seems like a good kid. Good head on his shoulders.
Screw that kid.
He loves Julie.
Yeah, loves her. Yeah, I'm gonna find that line and bring it up again next time.
But yeah, that is issues 1 through 12 of The Walking Dead, the Volume 1 hardcover. That's probably the best way to read it, I think. The omnibuses they're not that great. They're thicker. Yeah, the compendiums. They're soft cover and they're like way too thick.
The spines collapse inward.
That's like reading like 4 inches of comic right there. That's too much. Like the spine doesn't really hold up together, so it's not the best way to read it. You're better off just getting the volume hardcovers, because I think that is the best way to do it. And also, like I said, it seemed like a weird gripe, like no page numbers and no showing where one issue starts and stops. But I think it does, show how good of a series it is if each issue just flows so well together. Like there's no actual hard start or stop point. So
yeah, I liked it though. 10 out of 10 on my own. What are we reading next week? I think it's your choice.
Oh, yeah, real quick in the chat, anybody who's still here, if you have any suggestions for chat, we are always open. I got a couple, but we'll wait to see what people say, and we'll give them a chance at it. In the meantime, I know you picked this one, Johnny, but any other suggestions too coming up?
No, because I thought you would have them. I thought you were going to take this week. Well, I think it's something right off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got my suggestions, but how about this? The suggestion that I had was Doctor Strange: The Oath, which was I believe it was a small. I think we're open to it. We broke away from manga. The closest this is. Yeah, you're not wrong, Charlie. I was kind of thinking that too. He suggests Floating Classroom might be too much horror manga at once. In my mind, hey man, never too much horror manga. That's one that I was always curious about. We've got at the store. Yeah, maybe in a few weeks. Vic, what's your suggestion? I don't care if it's anime or not. We're definitely open to it. My suggestion, like I said, was Doctor Strange: The Oath. I think it was a four-issue miniseries about my boy Doctor Strange. It's been a minute since I read it. I remember really liking it, so I'm definitely down to dip back into it again. Johnny, any suggestion from you? You don't have to if you don't have one.
Man. I'm gonna throw it out there again because I eventually want to read it again. Was the Punisher, by the Marvel Knights 1 through 12, or
the Punisher? Yeah. Anything Batman? Charlie, I do have a Batman suggestion.
Which one do you want to read? Because I could do a Batman. I want to save Dark Knight Returns till I get that gallery book.
What if we had Batman the Cult, Johnny?
Did you get it? Oh, yeah, I'm down. Did you really get it?
Maybe.
The trade paperback?
How do you feel about the trade or the issues? I've got them all now, Johnny.
Oh, really? I'm down. I'll read it.
100%. Yeah. Do I have it here? Oh, I thought I brought it here too. I was gonna.
Well, let's do that.
How about this? How do y'all feel about if Gotham City was overtaken by a cult and the only one that can stop them is Batman? But what if they stop Batman?
Who writes it?
Jim Starlin.
Oh,
remember Infinity Gauntlet? Thanos Quest. What if the artwork was done by Bernie Wrightson, acclaimed horror artist?
Oh, I'm down 100%. I sold. Yeah.
All right. The Cult. So it's.
Whoa, what you said?
Yeah, exactly. Vic, that was my exact reason. When I first came across Batman the Cult, I was like, well, I guess we're reading this now. In fact, we might have an issue here. Johnny, you want to hold the fort for a real quick second?
Yeah.
All right, if you want
I'm typing.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'd say you could talk with the chat, but I guess you're busy typing with the chat.
That's funny. But wait, we were just talking about the Infinity Gauntlet. I got the whole 6-issue series like right here behind us because I'm selling it on the Instagram. This is number 6 right here. Really badass artwork. Yeah, I'm down to read that Batman story. I wanted to suggest Dark Knight Returns, which I was talking about with Charlie when he was at the store earlier, but I just ordered, I talked about it last night, a gallery edition, so it's like, the book is seriously, it's bigger than my hands are on this screen. Like, it would literally go off the screen. This book is literally like this big, and it's all the original artwork scans from Frank Miller, so when I get that book in to the store that's going to be mine, that's when we should read Dark Knight Returns, because then we can like refer to that for some of the artwork. That's my favorite Batman story ever. But Mike was raving about this cult story for a while. I think he said that. Did you have the trade at one point, or you couldn't find it? What was the story?
It was in print for a bit, then it wasn't, and man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's out of print now, and I think he was having a hard time finding it for a while for a reasonable price. But it sounds like he found one. Where'd you find it?
eBay.
Yeah, eBay. I mean, out of print, you got to go that route sometimes. Or if Diamond doesn't deliver your stuff. Can you believe we still haven't gotten our frickin' Berserk books?
I want to read that actually, but here we are. Stuck.
Yeah, I really want the Berserk. Helsing is already sold out, out of print. That came out yesterday. We ordered some, but didn't get them in yet, so I'm hoping that comes. And that's about all I got in terms of that. I'm bitching about Diamond for today. Well, no, they had, actually, Diamond had a sale on My Hero Academia figures, and I ordered those, and it says they're coming, but until they arrive, I'm suspect. Dude, I just realized I ordered a gallery diorama figure of Spider-Man that's totally in stock. I ordered that like 3 weeks ago. Why isn't that here yet?
One day we'll get that.
No, we won't.
Wait.
Do you not have your miniseries?
What's that?
Do you have it?
No, I thought we pulled it out, remember, because I showed you the cover of it.
Yeah, maybe we kept it to the side.
Yeah, we might have.
We got boxes for days.
We got a lot of boxes, man. But yeah, if you want to talk here for a second, I could pull it up here, a JPEG of the cover, because the cover alone is awesome. But what were we saying about Diamond?
I hate them.
It's reasonable. It's a reasonable response. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming on out here. Again, the issue is going to be Batman the Cult. Let me pull up a JPEG here. Oh man, these images are so good though. Alright, let me see if I could do this real quick here. Johnny, what's going on? Give me something to...
What do you mean? What happened? You just want something to say?
Give me some action, Johnny.
Oh man, dude, I think I'm gonna end up spending like another couple $100 on other bookends. I found these Wolverine ones. Here, I'll show them to you real quick.
Sure.
They're so badass, dude. But they're expensive, and like I don't know if I want to buy these after buying the Berserk ones because those were expensive.
Yeah, those were. They were good though. Well,
yeah, these
I
are
say were as if we've gotten them yet, but
yeah.
Still waiting on them.
Here, it's in the box still, but it's these like Wolverine and Sabretooth. Wait, there we go. That's super sweet.
All right.
But they're really expensive, but I really want them. What are you looking for?
I've got the covers of the 4, because it's so Batman the Cult is a 4-part miniseries.
Oh, you sure?
The nice thing about it is it kind of stands out on its own. You don't really need too much previous knowledge about Batman other than who he is and what Gotham City is. But it's a sweet standalone. I've got the images here of issues 1 through 4. Some great cover art by my boy Wrightson. Like the first one when I came across that issue number 1 on the far left of him like at the bloody sewer cap, and it said Batman the Cult. He was bending over like a bloody sewer. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm buying all 4 of these sight unseen. Like what's he doing chained up? Why is he about to punch that dude in the face? Like is that what Batman does? Why does Batman have a gun on that 4th one? All these answers and more next Wednesday on the Comics Corner.
Sounds good to me.
Johnny says Charlie says I should have made the rule that you can only have one set of bookends on order at a time.
Yeah,
probably not wrong.
So
yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
which ones are on order of My Hero. Did you answer that? I missed it.
No, what do you like? Which mangas did we order?
Yeah,
No?
I think we've got
That's on you.
I think we've got issues 1 through 5 right now of My Hero Academia. I gotta double check our sweet anime wall. Which figures?
Oh, duh, yeah. Oh, I ordered Shigaraki, All Might, Ida, the engine dude with the legs, Uravity, and
So
then
just like all of them.
no, because I had to get Deku. The Deku I wanted was sold out, so I got that from Hot Topic. I got that yesterday, actually. And then the Bakugo I haven't ordered yet. I got to get that off of a different website because that's sold out on Diamond. And then I have Todoroki at home, and I got that guy. I got him off eBay because he was also sold
Good
out.
question, Vic. Are those for the store or for you?
Oh no, those are for me. I didn't order those for the store. I ordered those intentionally for me. Of course. Same with the Dark Knight book I was talking about. That's for me.
Trey says you don't need Bakugo.
That's the reason I started collecting these, was because I wanted the Bakugo. You know, wait, I haven't mean to say this to you, dog. You know he's the Vegeta of that show, and you love Vegeta, so don't.
So what's up, Charlie?
Yeah, it's this. That's his character role. He's pissy all the time. He never wins the fights. He's Vegeta. What do you gotta say to that? You said they were all the same shows, so you know I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
He's the main character's arch rival, but he's sort of his friend. He's Vegeta.
There you have it. And there we have it here too, Johnny. It's 10:30, running a little bit late, but also we started late, so it's not that far off.
Yeah, we're good.
Derivative Vegeta, no. Before any more beef starts, we'll wrap things up. As always, thanks everybody for coming on out. We will be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. to talk about news. We'll do some sales. Between now and then, we're definitely going to have more stuff up on the Instagram, so keep an eye out for that. Johnny and I will be manning that. I will put up some sweet JPEGs. Maybe I'll take pictures of the cult trades and issues that I've got, because I'll be loaning them off to my boy Johnny too, so we could read them at home. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out, and we will see you next week to talk about Batman the Cult issues 1 through 4. Unfortunately, I wish it was something that we could order, like Johnny talked about. Like I'd love to have that constantly in stock at the store, but for whatever reason, DC finds it appropriate to, have a 35th anniversary Watchmen, a 36th anniversary Watchmen, 37th anniversary Watchmen, but my boy Jim Starlin gets no love for Batman the Cult, which is, in my opinion, like definitely one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. But so I know it's going to be tough for people to follow along at home. This is the 1 week Vic, Charlie, Yo-Yo where you get the excuse of not doing your homework. Unless you yell at me, I've got copies at home. I may or may not have now 4 copies of the book in different formats. So
Okay then. So we have options.
So come on by. But yeah, until then, I hope everybody has a good night. We'll see you next week. Do your homework. No reason not to buy 4 times. Exactly, Charlie. And remember, not all heroes wear capes.